Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching around the world. Welcome back, my friends. It is time for the final day of group stages here at PA.
I mean, it's Cammy's face. We got to cover it up, right?
My name's Toppy's. I'm joined
We don't
by
want to scare anyone.
Davis and Godspeed as we get into the action. Once again, today is the first day that people will go home, Cameron. When it's done and dusted, no, I'm sorry. No one goes home. You go to the grand final. So really, there's nothing on the line except more playtime. Is that true?
No, okay, so, like, I think that we might have been selling the stakes are a little bit short. You want to avoid the last chance qualifier, because that is where you can get eliminated.
Right.
Going directly into the grand finals is a really, really big benefit. The fact that teams aren't going to get eliminated here does give them some room to work with, but it's 100% in every team's motivation to try and get to the grand finals if they can.
Exactly, and I think I think that's the point, guys. We don't want to put too fine on it, but it is that idea of like sometimes we watch this and we think there are no stakes, right? There's this idea of like it's a warm up, no one's really getting eliminated. Is there a world though where the players are entering this with any of that same mindset, or do you think that's common for them or completely irrelevant?
I mean, there is a bit of a safety net when you have a last chance qualifier, which means that teams who are kind of fumbling the bag, so to speak, will definitely lean onto that in order to, kind of supplement their poor play. But I mean, obviously you want to avoid a last chance because again, you're just adding more variables at that point. Like if you don't make it through the traditional group stage, then yeah, there's just more variables, more chances to get frustrated when you go into the last chance. Granted, we've seen a lot of teams come out of last chance and even win events, but I don't think you actually want to be there. And so, yeah, I would say it definitely does add that mental safety net, which could be either good or bad depending on the team you are.
Let's get into a little bit of looking back at what will be coming up. This is winners so far as we went through yesterday's matches. Yesterday was pretty good. Cameron, do you have any big observations off of what went on yesterday in Furia's domination?
I mean, Furia's done. Yeah, that's
Right?
basically it. Furia were getting so many points and even potentially dangerous. If it wasn't for Furia, we'd be talking about their performance as well because they got a huge number of points themselves. But Furia, I don't know if I don't think it was necessarily record breaking just yet. Like I think some of the Sonics from like a couple of years ago is still going to be up there, but they were running the game every single time. Even if they didn't win every single match, they were like they got second on two of them as well. The final two Erangels were a bit of a miss for them, but only in the context of what we had seen in the first four leading up to it. And even with those two low point games, they still ran away with yesterday.
Guys, you got any thoughts on yesterday?
It was just crazy. First of all, it was a 92-point day for them, which is just crazy high. And like Cameron was saying, I mean, even if they didn't win the game, which they did win multiple games, just overall so far in the group stages, is they had multiple games back to back where they had 10 plus kills, double-digit kills, which is just crazy impressive. And so they definitely shut down the lobby, but potentially dangerous again is another team that was just behind them. This is a team that I've been talking about for a while. Steve, you and I were talking about them in the green room just before the show started. Like the roster is different, but this has really been a team at least this year that's shown me quite a lot, and I'm hoping for their continued success. And man, this is a hell of a statement to make here at a major event here regionally.
Absolutely, and I mean, how do you? As we look at sort of the other highlights as the one on yesterday, Cameron, it feels like that is sort of a talk with potentially dangerous. The idea of this three-man roster swap sort of starting over from the last PAS. But, I mean, if you can pull this off, it's worth it, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Again, we got to see what they're going to have to do in the grand finals. It's one thing to look good getting there, but the points don't carry over. So really, it's more of just an observation of their potential form. But as we said before, teams have won events coming from the last chance qualifier. You can't guarantee that you're going to have the same level of competition when you hit that main point. So as we talked to Posa yesterday during the interview, he said that it's important to make sure that they don't stay overconfident because of their performance. And so the same thing is going to be there for potentially dangerous. Really good performance. Hopefully it makes both those squads feel super confident going into the grand finals, but they're going to have to do it there as well.
I mean, let's ask that question straight up, guys. Should they feel confident? I mean, sorry, let me ask that. They should be confident not getting into last chance, right? I guess that's my next transition is where's the cutoff, do you think, for this 8 teams that get to go to the grand final?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely no chance that PD doesn't make it.
Right. For everyone watching, just to clarify, those two teams are good.
I would say, I mean, if we look at Europe, right, as far as like their cutoff, I believe it was 84 points. In fact, I believe it was a tie for 84 points between Twisted and Bushido. So I could I can imagine it would be somewhere in like the 70-point range, maybe even around there. I would say if we're looking at this current leaderboard,
Okay.
I could see it being around like 70, 75, maybe 80.
That makes sense. So coming into this, you could argue Pest Control Yahoo pretty okay at the moment, maybe, but that 79, I can see you looking good. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so let's do this. Let's talk about teams that could upset those sort of sitting at that 8 o'clock cutoff, that 54 to 67. Let's look at some head-to-heads. I know that we've got a little bit of ROC versus Liquid to look at as we march forward. This has been interesting because ROC was a team to me, Cameron, that had little expectation and has grown into them this year. Maybe not in so much in PAS.
Right.
Yes, the last day, but still through the year been great. Liquid's almost the opposite story. A really big team with huge expectations that hasn't lived up to them this year.
Yeah, I think both these squads have a lot to prove coming into today. Whether it's from the legacy performance over the deck. Well, not
almost
decades.
a decade, Cameron.
We're not that old. We're not that old.
there.
Yeah, but not decades. Yeah, but it's still not plural. But no, so like Team Liquid in this roster, even with the moves that have kind of slowly happened over time, we expect a lot from this squad. ROC, and they showed us that we should start to expect more from them as well. Both of these teams didn't live up to those level of expectations. I think Liquid did a bit better than ROC Esports. 38 points. It's not great, but I think it's an okay starting position. And then when you remember everyone, Furia and Potentially Dangerous yesterday got so many points themselves. 38 actually looks a little better by comparison. It just means that they're going to have to do just a little bit more than I think they would hope to have to do today to go to the grand final and skip LCQ.
Yeah, the Pegasus versus the Rock, two mythological creatures going to war here, but with very different traveling to get here into the first place. Now, for me, when you look at, you've got Fantastico, which am I remembering correctly? MVP EWC Godspeed, is that correct?
That is correct. That is the
and on
MVP
top
of
of that,
EWC.
across from him, Purdy Curdy, MVP of everyone's hearts in his career.
That's true. That's
Head
also
to head
true.
right there. Fun to watch them both showing up, though, getting decent points here in this event. Now, I'm going to turn over to you, talking about Toyo versus Team Falcons. A little bit of a different head-to-head in that these aren't necessarily always compared to each other.
Yeah, definitely not always compared to each other. You can see currently, like, as far as numbers are concerned, very close. But, you know, when we look at recent performances, especially, you know, like EWC, even when you go back to, you know, PNC, as we know, Toyo does make up the majority of the Argentina team. Like, there's been some kind of less than stellar performances. I think EWC, you know how I felt about them. I felt that...
Wait, they were at EWC? No, I'm kidding. Well, I see exactly what you mean, right? As we see Emmy and Shrimsy come up on stage, it was hard to see them there without really, quote unquote, seeing them doing much outside of a couple of big moments.
Yeah. And again, it's just you got me all messed up. But it's just I want to see them actually really kind of put their foot on the gas, if you will. That's kind of what I'm looking for them.
And I think that is a very fair assessment, being that you look at that roster, it's not a bad one. But these are the teams that are going to be taking the field today. Group B is sitting and waiting and hoping that some of these teams will advance. Teams like Yahoo, I think they're going to be watching very closely. Alcacia as well. Others feeling much more comfortable. Only two comfortable teams, Cameron. Is that officially what we're going to say here when it comes to Group B?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked at the ranges of the cutoffs in PAS's previously, and it has ranged all the way from like the low to mid 70s to the low to mid 90s.
Yeah.
So Alcacia, it's possible, and with Furia and Potentially Dangerous taking so many points yesterday, I think that could drop it to the 70s area. So I think Alcacia, I want to give them like maybe an 80% chance. But anyone below them, I think is pretty much out of it. I think your host is just going to barely miss the mark, unless there's another team that comes out and just sponges everything, which we have Liquid and Falcons taking the field. That's always going to be a possibility there.
I think that's when you talk about, like, you look over at Europe as well, that ended today, EMEA, and they sort of had this idea of like FaZe out there cracking up a whole lot of points, which made that bottom cutoff end up being a lot closer than we expected. So there is that possibility, especially you bring up with Liquids and Falcons taking the field. We saw them in the highlights. There's a reason for that, Godspeed. When it comes to favorites, when it comes to point getters, when it comes to the historical FaZe type play, which randomly they did today, these are two teams that often live up to that hype, right?
Yeah, they are, and especially like watching just off of what we've seen so far this weekend, like the backs of like Tig and Kick have just been having a huge impact so far. Even as a duo, they've had multiple instances where the end games together. So I mean, Falcons is the Falcons, right? They've had a really good year so far. I think consistency has been key for them, and they've found it overall, so that's good. And then Liquid, I don't know what's going on with them. Like, we've obviously talked to Kurt throughout the different events, PNC, EWC. Sometimes things just don't go your way, man. Sometimes it's just rough, but I think regionally here they should be making a big statement today. That's for sure.
And I think this is also a really tough moment for them, Cameron, because they have to make a big statement. Like, this is the point where Liquid's been through half the year without the results that they really should or be anywhere near getting. And I think PAS is that last chance. And I personally believe in them, but worry for what happens to some of my favorite players in the league if they don't make it to PGS off of the back of this.
Right. I think so. Liquid, we know that they are going to make it to grand finals, whether it's here or the LCQ. They're going to make it to the grand finals. Like, they were not a team that I don't think can struggle in the LCQ. They're just too good to be like really punished down in that area over the course of 12 games with the same lobby every single time. But if they have to go to the LCQ after everything else that's happened to them this year, I just worry that it's going to be so much for their mental fortitude to be able to bear any competitor, no matter what pursuit you're challenging yourself with. There's a level of like just pressure that constantly adds up when the results do not go your way, especially given what their 2024 looked like. So I really do want to see them.
I mean, that makes sense.
Super, super good today if we want Liquid to come back to the 2024 form.
I love that point, though. This idea that, like, LCQ mentally will have a very different impact on a team that's supposed to be there and a team that isn't, right? Like, the idea that, like, if you go there and you expect to be going to LCQ regularly, it's almost a boon to your system. It's a process you're used to. But if you're a team that is of the status that you generally get the weekend off, I do think that can be a little shaking to you mentally. Great playing. Good North Circle. I love stuff happening around Camp Militaire. That's awesome, Godspeed.
Yeah.
You don't see that enough.
The fact that there are two teams dropping here, Gooners and Mira. And we didn't talk about Mira all that much, but similar to Potentially Dangerous, this is one of the teams that's coming in, not as a dark horse. I don't think that's a fair thing to make, but like new blood to really try and really show that they can punch above their weight, not just when it comes to the FPP circuit that we have here at PAS, but also when it comes to the grand finals of an event. We all know during the Masters, they perform well, but then the last day they kind of fall off. Gooners, however, they're the griefers of all griefers, looking like they're trying to hot drop here in Campo Militar. But Mira, intelligently so, they want none of this.
It's almost
Gooners gonna.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Gooners gonna goon.
Gooners are gonna. they've just been the bane of quite a few teams here, and that's what they're here to do, right? Just have fun. The squad we've heard, but he's doing really well. He may not play even if they do qualify. So it's good times. It's good times.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you about. There is an aspect, right? The human in me, I don't know what you want to call it. The lover of games says that's what open qualifiers are for. You should be able to come in here and have a good time. But the competitor in me also wonders, how do you think the other players feel, Cameron, with the fact that they're playing for their lives? In the sense of Team Liquid, this could be the difference between their careers continuing or making tough decisions. What if that's taken away by a team who's just out here to have a good time?
If you lose to a team that's worse than you, a team that's just out here having a good time, you didn't deserve to make it anyway. And Liquid know that themselves. They would tell you the same thing.
Sheesh. That's hard. But is it real?
Damn.
I mean, yeah. If you're now, there is a caveat to that. I do agree with Cameron, and I do think most teams do think like that. However, if let's say Gooners specifically followed Team Liquid around every single game and hot dropped them every game, that's different. But yeah, like. In a situation where they happen to run into Gooners and Gooners do something that either they don't expect or they think is foolish, like that's a different story. That's still on Liquid to like be ready for that, right? Or any team that they happen to crash in a non-ideal way or what you would perceive as something that's smart. That being said, like it's up to these teams. Like if you're struggling and you only ran into a team like the Gooners 1 or 2 games out of a 12-game series, like. Is it their fault you didn't qualify? No, it was your fault.
If you get caught by a cheeky bridge camp by accident, it's not the same as if you were bridge camped because that's your rotation for
every single game. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense to me. I'm going to process this interesting information and send myself back to the lobby and let you gentlemen take us through the first game of the final day of the PAS qualifiers.
Yeah.
Yin Yang as well, Godspeed. We should mention them too. I think they came out and surprised a lot of people, looking to surprise Team Mirror right now. Both these teams are vying for a pretty central position on this northern zone. Haven's ready for it though. Nice
Double headshot.
Trisk down.
And we've seen Yakuz before, but Trisk as well. We do have some new names on this team, but Yin Yang strong so far.
Haven stronger.
Far with an opportunity here to do something. Haven, though, is going to turn things around. Mira, again, that team has been so practiced over this year and have really started to grow. You've been monitoring them closely, and as have I, especially we talk about the TPP events, but
yeah,
right now they are holding this quite effectively. White Kuz is going to eat a headshot. Here we go. We have Panzers on deck as well. Fakeson's going to turn around, and yeah, Mira just, they're picking Ying apart.
Yakuz is doing work, though. Only gets one.
Familiar with Mira, rather, this is exactly what they do. They team fight so well. They start and end their fights in such quick succession. It's beautiful to watch. And I just want to talk about Haven specifically as we see Kane, the final member of Yin Yang, kind of retreat. Not really retreat, but just decide to not try and follow up, because that would have been... Yeah, exactly. But for Haven to be performing as well as he is as well, unless I'm mistaken, this is the player that was dropped for Kawazin from Furia, basically trading the two players on the two rosters. And so to, lose out from what is arguably at the moment the best team in Brazil, trying to be the best team in the Americas, to come into Team Mirror that is also performing very, very well and, has a chance to try and take them out, especially come the grand finals, I think is just kind of makes that storyline so much more interesting.
Oh, Bunt might go down here.
Look at Mira as a team, right? Like you do have LFP, Haven, right? Like some members, 4 members of 22 Esports, which found a lot of success regionally in the past few years. Like they were not a team where I would be like, oh, dude, that team is super sick at team fights, right? Like whereas now,
right,
I 100% agree the speed and efficiency at which they've gotten mechanically in their team fights, in those micro fights, has been so impressive. I'd honestly argue even better than a lot of the teams that are still improving, like even your potentially dangerouses or all the other teams we talk about.
Right.
I really do feel like Mira is that potential next team to start to be one of the consistents of the Americas, as long as they can just close it out, Cammy. That's their problem.
I know.
They are so consistent at the start, but they just do not finish well. That's Mira's one problem if I had to critique them.
Yeah, 100%. And it really it has to be a mental thing in play for everything that we've seen of them up to this point. No other kills have happened so far, but there have been a lot of shots and a lot of jostling for positions.
A lot of damage.
Away. We've seen a couple other players do the same thing. Liquid on what looks to be a bridge camp, but gets Wuju too. Lucid having to stop short.
Wuju 2 stopping.
But Enzino does take Luke down.
So it's 1 for 1.
Completely bloodless on the side of Liquid.
Oh, the sneak attack here coming over the edge, seeing if he can get something. The flush is going to come out. He knew that, but now it's down to it.
Now Purdy goes down. No, 2v3.
Now, potentially being put on the back foot. Look at the spread. Purdy and Luke 12. Knox. Luke 12 is the anchor position up above. And it's actually going to be a 3-on-2 now. So Lucid down, but an opportunity here to finish off this fight. Nade's coming through. Alo and Sparking here on that. Oh, the nade still doesn't get Sparking.
Seifu go. Well, Wuju 2 saw this camp and they were like, we don't care. We are taking this fight.
Very, very well this year, even through all of Liquid's trials. But this is still not a great start. The camp looked good, but as you said it, Luke going down kind of opened it all up for Wuju.
Alo's
trying to take point, but instantly shut down. So 1 kill for Liquid, and that's all they get.
Yeah, that's rough.
Wuju too, losing Lucid, probably not the worst thing, especially it's still so early on in the game. There's a blue chip revival center right behind them in Impala. Yeah. I think they should be back up to 4 relatively easily.
Yeah, they're big chilling right now. Again, great counter fight from them. That was that worked out very well. They were able to not only wipe Liquid, as you said, but they should be able to get that res, and they have a free rotation all the way here to the east. So they are big chillin', like I said. Mission Ready International on the meanwhile. Muria instead of Mira. Love that for them. And I like this team. I like the makeup of this team, This is my kind of team right here. It's basically just LG.
So fun to watch.
LG with Michael.
Hey, they were LG until about a week ago.
Yep. So
about a week ago.
Sakura Zensen, meanwhile, the team that we are very familiar with here. But these boys, not a bad first day. 35 points.
Yeah, pretty good start for them as well. Maxwin, they're also coming in. Hero, especially bringing a lot of attention to themselves off of the pretty fantastic use of the VSS. I know we saw some of that during the Masters Godspeed.
Yes, yes.
Looking at the players that used it, was it legitimate or was it sort of kind of a meme? But I think Hero using it as well really shows that there is value to this weapon on the back, off the back of the DMR nerf, especially. But this circle shift, medium shift, northwest, really good for Falcons now. We haven't seen them have to do much in their early games so far, but their position, I think, is looking really, really good.
This is an area we haven't seen too much of recently. This kind of in between, was it water treatment and Campo Militar? You have a lot of open space there. Currently, it's going to be the dogs that are actually occupying a lot of that space. As you can see Mira here just kind of resetting up in their 2-2 split. But yeah, this is a fun one. There's a lot of terrain to be played, a lot of different ridges, mountains, as well as just space, right? There's good compounds on the edges. So most of these teams should be able to go where they're wanting to. Duel, meanwhile, man, it's a throwback. Again, watching K-Mine this weekend has been on Duel of all teams like Lobes.
Yeah.
What year is it, man? But I'm about it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, and well, there's no potentially dangerous for them to try and attempt a hot drop on Miramar and just get shut down from. So
that's true.
We'll see if they can have a better day today than previously.
Yeah, their first day was not great. 14 points, as you stated, potentially dangerous. A big thorn on their side. As we now move over to the Gooners and Rock, who, for as good as they've been, a little slow of a start here, I'd say, for Rock coming into the PAS group stages here. Only 27 points from day one. You can see BL is going to catch a nice headshot there. And I see Flex. He sees T-Sock. Oh, is he going to get him down? No, T-Sock's going to survive for now. Yeah, Rock, expecting them to have a much better day today. We'll say that.
Yeah, they expect that of themselves as well, I'm sure. Bit of a 2-2 split that we saw them in, but now Falcons versus 55. I thought it was going to be 4 dogs that was going to face off against the Flying Birds, but instead it's 55 crashing in onto them, and Kickstart got the first aid off just in time, but still surrounded. The rest of Falcons have yet to arrive and really give the support, so Kickstart's going to be instantly put down.
I think the rest of Falcons are going to still fight for this, though.
Falcons now have a decision to make. Do they want to push this? Just wipe 55 now and potentially go for a res. They do have one off to the west. If they can, that day's going to be perfect.
That's a double.
Find the second as well. So it looks like Operation Kickstart should be a success. Granted, there's no tremendous fumbles here, as it is going to be a 3-on-2 in favor of the Falcons.
And there's some shots, I think, coming in from a different angle. Telio down to the southwest could be looking up here as they're currently distracted by a couple other rotations around there. But the point being is that 55, they don't have a lot of room to work with. Falcons, on the other hand, they can just come in from the high ground. No real threat of third-party action. H1's looking for opportunity to use this Panzer. Making sure to clear out each of the buildings. No one's going to be in the bottom floor here. They're going quick. They're going fast. I like this by the Falcons. They're not just going to decide to give this up and let 55 hold on to this.
Yeah.
Early game as it is.
They do have one person close on the rocks. They just got to worry about that.
Which later on in the game, can't guarantee that.
Right. Exactly. You get rid of 55 now. You don't have to worry about them later when you do have another team coming. Again, this is on a peak as well. Nice. He saw. That was so smart by Quinn. He's going to find that tick's going to go down to Psycho. The trade should be coming in, though. There's no way, and that is clean. The thing, though, is even though they are going to be able to get that chip, I don't know if they can actually go for res at this point. You see now Duel has moved in right underneath their position. Circle has posted and shifted way to the west. So that's going to cause a lot of these...
H1 just trying to shoot people off right now, honestly.
Also looking at Gooners. Well, Sakura Zensen, all these teams are going to have to come inside. No way as well.
Yeah, I think if the circle shifted away from Falcons, they'd have more of an ability to get a Kickstart pick back up, brought back into the game with the Blue Chip Revival Tower on the west side. But now it really is just in their best interest, I think, to hold that position. Other teams, though, that had to make their way in, back to Rock versus Gooners. And again, this is that 2-2 split that Rock had earlier on in the game, still playing off of that. No need for all 4 of them to come into Crucify, especially considering it's not even in the zone anymore. It's just about how do they get out of this position without getting shot in the back by Gooners when there are already other teams like Maxwin and, as we just saw, Mira directly in front of them.
And speaking of Mira, they're still holding that 2-2 split. And they're currently in a position to hold out both Muria Bonja de Gallo. So we'll see if that's in fact what they do. Now there's a big possibility here that Bonjo and Miria fight, but as we look at Wuju 2 now, they also have to make their way in. They're just on that edge as well, so watch for them. As they're coming in, Miria is going to take shots at Bonja. Doesn't look like they're going to get a knock, and they're going to pull just right ahead on this ridge, and that's going to be a fight, which means that there's an opportunity here for a third party.
Yeah, you saw Mission Ready International Alliance. They're pushing forward, but a bit tentatively so. They want to make sure that they're not going to get third party by some of these angles, but this particular track that Gats is on looks to be safe enough, trying to find the knock.
Oh, Fran doesn't go down.
Fakeson's gonna be taking them down from the other angle.
So Mira is helping out Maria.
Mission Ready to follow up on. They steal that kill away, so they at least get the point from that effort.
Yeah, Maria's going to find that. It was a missed opportunity, but fortunately it was still cleaned up. You can see Bonja still trying to get... Oh, they're just in a nasty sandwich between Miria and Mira.
Kane.
How unfortunate is that? Meanwhile, No Wait pushing on to Kane's final location, his Alamo. Ying Yang, we saw 3 of those members go out earlier, and now No Wait is just kind of stuck behind the smokestone.
He just wants to
If
survive.
there was ever a building and a situation for a solo player to make something happen, it would be in one of these concrete pryos.
I think he prepped that other smoke way too quick.
And just seeing Bonja run away from Mission Ready, the fact that they were able to get directly into Mira like that was absolutely insane. But we'll check in on what happens in that fight later on as we go back to Kane, trying to make this amazing play.
He
but
needed that
the
knock.
first knock doesn't go his way. Yeah, absolutely needed to come out on top with that engagement. Now they've isolated. They know where this player is.
That would have been the start, Cammy. That was so huge. They would have pulled the player away, isolate another one, and this is rough. Switches to...
No, he gets
wait a
2.
second.
Whoa, what happened?
Wait, 3 knocks?
No way.
3 knocks from the gas chamber, gonna burn them all fully down to a Chris. Sets this up into a one-on-one, so we do actually have the clutch play that comes in on the stairwell.
They ran through that? No way. I thought...
Yes, yeah, their smokes were in play. They didn't really know what was going on, and now both have been tagged up by 4 dogs as well.
I mean, that is... He should be able to get this. I only say that because the pressure is now on Sam Crow.
Right.
I mean, if Kane goes, he's playing with house money at this point, right? He is going for the res, though. I wonder if Kane heard that, or maybe he's giving him some time. Flash is going to come out, so he's going to stop the res. Very nice. That was crucial for Kane here. A second flash, and he's going to charge in. Sam Crow, though, just barely gets that one.
The double flash, I think Kane played that perfectly, but the blind fire, sometimes it just goes your way. And that's all a bit of a heartbreak, but still got 2 points with what looked to be like a 0-point situation.
Yeah, I mean, that was much better than what it was looking like for him. It was almost looking like he was just going to go out, but even still, again, the double molly play, that was beautiful. I didn't even realize it happened until it happened, so good on Kane to make that work either way. No Way is going to have they should have, I should say, a free rotation into the circle, but we'll see if Max is going to be looking that direction. Meanwhile, Sucker Zenson here in a fight here just on the edge with Duel, Cammy.
Simon. What is he going to do? Up against Slobes.
Performance.
Matt. Oh.
Gets eliminated, so Rock are able to
messed with him a little bit yesterday. Had some fun.
Of their game being spoiled. I'm in with a grenade. A blind
I'll say.
throw out. Doesn't seem to be too accurate with its trajectory, and instead just going to back away. But you can see on the minimap, Duel are fairly keen on just following up behind it. They really want to look for this fight because the other opportunity...
Oh, what just happened?
Falcons are at least
Okay,
sending one to
there we
try
go.
to sweep that up, but Wuju 2 coming up right below. There's a lot of teams now coming up towards the Falcons, Cammy. So this is about to be an opportunity maybe for a Falcon sandwich. Ice Tech gonna find Sam Crow in the distance.
Ooh.
Viewer really hates. Yeah, the confusing initialism. Are these mortars gonna land?
Okay.
A little
not
bit too
bad,
far. Pull it
actually.
in just a little bit.
Just
Really
behind
close.
Michael.
Yeah, I got his... Oh, that one nails it, though!
honest.
First one was for testing, second
Oh.
one for truth, and Vox almost gets tagged as well, going for the revive. No, we get eliminated in the meantime. 11 teams left standing, but yeah, Vox is gonna go for the revive. That's the grenade. Who's that pushing on? It's gonna be Toyo, seeing an opportunity and instantly gonna take it.
Not bad, Toyo.
Damn.
He's gonna strike here. They've been holding this edge for a while now, and that was just what an assist from Mira, man. To get mortared and then naded by a complete separate team, that's a tilter for sure. But great mortar placement, good opportunity realization there from Capitan and Toyo. He's gonna take a spray. He's not gonna get another part of Muria. That's gonna be Gats driving away.
2 kills for Toyo. Trying on the lookout for a little bit more. I think one of the big criticisms that I've had of Toyo and their playstyle is that sometimes recently they can be a bit too slow to move themselves and will only work when they feel 100% safe. I want to see them start to play more active, especially coming in from the edge right now. But Shaft takes down RBN, stolen away from Mira. Mira are really starting to try and make their presence known a lot more now. Santastico, though, instantly trying to shut that one down, not letting them get away with anything for free. Goes down to a grenade by Haven. So still 3 members left standing for Mira. 5 kills on the scoreboard for this round so far.
But again, I just love their willingness to just try to make something work. They're so proactive, especially when they're given room to work with. They can really kind of spread out. Again, this is a team that I used to, or at least some of the players in this team I used to criticize quite a bit for being much more passive, much more slow, and they have just leveled up. And it's been a pleasure to watch, honestly. Again, if they can just get past, I don't want to call it choking, but if they can just get past finishing, weak in these events, I feel like they're a contender, man.
Yeah, well, before that, they gotta get past Frogman. Good grenade.
Frogman, gotten past pretty quick right there.
Bit of a pretty staggered instantaneous trade by Haven.
As fast as you like.
Yeah. Give us some anticipation with it.
Yeah, look at this. The bait set.
Spray a bit loose. That one looks better. Listen, we'll give you that one. You made up for it. But third-party action coming in from Mission Ready. Threading the needle here with the space that they can work with, that they can play with, trying to shut down Max Win, but there's also 4 dogs screaming on in from the opposite side.
The dogs are going to come in and sandwich now Max Win. It's going to should be done for them. But no, it's going to be Mira to pick that one up. And the problem here for Max Win coming into this fight is Mira really didn't lose much. They already got the res. They already recovered 4 strong. Now, LFP will get caught trying to loot. And here is where the issues arise. You can see Hyman actually getting that one from a distance. Now they're back to the blue. That's the
Four dogs, 3 down.
As well. These kills, though, potential to be stolen. Doesn't look like they're going to get it. And 13 kills, 6 of those for Haven. And fakes in with 5. Beautiful stuff from Team Mira.
13 kills. Furia who? Potentially dangerous who?
Okay, calm
We're
down.
the big dogs in this love. Oh. I'm quoting them. I'm not saying that. That's what they're trying to tell us. And honestly, I'm ready to listen. With 13 kills so far, this is only the first match of the day. Who knows what's going to happen later on. They're still not even out of this round. But right now, we're going to check back in with Falcons. Haven't had too many more kills since the previous engagement with 55, but they've just been sitting at the top of the hill right now defending their position, and there are going to be a lot more opportunities for kills since they're now on the edge. Going to have to defend from Wuju2, from Toyo, and from Duel. But Benya, last member of Toyo, could try and wrap a different direction, but that's going to be directly into Haven and the rest of Mira, so who's to say which is the better option?
Yeah, this is a really, I feel like he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Either direction, he's either going into a strong 4-man of Wuju2, or he's
Haven ran over Fakeson
of Mira, right? So either way, it's going to be a rough travel for him. As for Falcons, they really have, I thought that might hit. No chance. Lucid Freak goes down, and Sakura Zenson are going to find themselves a small edge to play right here. Well done.
I don't think it's in the zone.
It has not been a target-rich environment. They've had to wait at the top of this hill. They haven't had many opportunities for kills, but now that circle is closing, I imagine they're going to try to get activated, but it's going to be kind of annoying with a team on your back. That's a full duel, as you can see. Huyn, though, huge opportunity here on this flank.
Yeah, really love the proactive moves right
Lobes
now.
is playing back, though.
Really kind of taking back some of the area that you sometimes lose when you're inside of a compound. You don't want to be boxed in so much, even with the advantage of having all of that cover. And so if H1 is able to get the first knock here, though Wooly has already gotten into the compound itself, hard cover of their own, and some mollies go in. Tickleton, however, takes IQ down, trying to go for a second. Spraying on through the smoke. Lobes able to stay alive, and Tickleton has to back away from that angle because of the molly. But here's when H-Win is going to really join the party, join the fray. Takes K-Mine down and pulls attention back their way.
Beautifully done. That was the perfect
Yeah, and
time to
now
strike, right?
Tiggleton
Trying to
strikes
get
from
under
the other side.
cover.
Wooly, I think, goes down
That
to the
Wooly
molly.
missed
No.
his hand too early.
Barely
That's
survives. That
overall.
nade should finish. Yeah.
Nice. Clean. Falcons are going to get rid of Duel.
Falcons up to 64. Mira up to 69 points. So it looks like those two teams going to be the two looking to punch their way through first.
That's going to open it up. Falcons actually fighting Zito, so that's 2 members down for Wuju2 now. 3.
Goes down. It's all on to Seifu. They tried to follow on Benya's footsteps. Not going to be as successful. And now with Duel, as you mentioned, Duel being eliminated, Falcons can just focus on one specific set angle. They don't have to worry about 360 degrees around them. And the circle doesn't go onto their position, but it does favor them more so than otherwise. Though high ground does slope away from this position.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
I can't really tell who's going to have the best spot once this zone closes. But at least for now, both Mira and Falcons, I think, are going to be the more prominent shooters in the lobby.
I think Mira's going to try to wait as long as possible to shoot off the Falcons coming down. And then you're just going to have Sakura Zensen as well. I mean, they have a decision to make, and their timing is going to be crucial here. Really, it's just Mission Ready that have a spot in the circle, and that's tentative as it's kind of in a ridge line. Sakura Zensen's coming right for him. This could open the door as well for Falcons to maybe make a push. Snakers, he's going to back up, think better of it. And Gats is going to make that MG3 sink. But no knocks, and they have to get down. This is the issue, is Mira, even though they're not in, they're just causing so many
Do they have any
problems.
nades that they...
He's not even gonna get a mic.
Sakura Zensen may allow it to happen
Mission Ready,
for
they knew
Falcons.
that if they tried to overcommit on
Shrimzy,
because
he has the C4.
Second, Falcons are going to immediately be there and shoot them from their
Shrimzy has a
side.
C4.
So
Shrimzy is
they
going
tried
to send a
get as many
C4
as they could.
down this hillside.
Squeeze is going to be a bit too much. A vehicle comes in, final C4 to take Snakers out. I think this one's gonna hit. Is there gonna be a victim of Zensen as well?
For
Nice.
Shrimzy?
No, it's just Snakers that goes down, but still, what a good use of a vehicle. What a good use of C4. Straightforward, simple. Like
Okay, now Falcons are
Yeah,
connecting
yep, Falcons now
on
pouring
Sakura
over. They still
Zensen.
have to be careful for Mira, though. Even though they are putting quite a bit of damage here onto Sakura Zensen. Hyman, the last
Good
one. up,
damage,
waiting for
H-Win,
Penta in the
boom.
background. You can see it, though. They want to push forward. They can't, Cammy. Mira are just causing so many issues. And now the problem is Mira is in. They don't even have to move forward anymore. They can just focus on shooting. You see Shrimzy now. Back to the blue. They're going to have to move soon. Those smokes are out. We'll see what they can do with a Cammy. Oh, and Hyman's going to get flushed by the deployable cover.
That's good smoke. H-Win taken down low. Penta's down. Okay.
The same cannot be said, however, of Sakura Zensen.
Ooh.
Shrimzy down to 6 HP. Has to drop another smoke. Multiple smokes going in just to keep that player alive because Mira are such a prominent force now with their position. Have so much cover there, and Falcons don't have a lot of space to work with. Haven's going to take this opportunity to push forward. But Benya, like I can't stop looking at this player. When are they going to strike? Whose game are they going to ruin? Where they are right now, it looks like they might just be in a position to make sure Mira can't take this brilliant 14-kill game into a chicken dinner.
I mean, Falcons are also
Falcons
at
and Mira
14.
both have 14 kills, so trying to see who's going to be the true leader of this game is there's a world where
Vixen.
Benya wins. If this gets down to like a 2v2 or 2v1, Benya can come in from behind and just completely steal this. Especially because I'm pretty sure...
Oh, Shrimzy gets double headshot. Tiggleton finds one.
Even with kill feed tracking, that's going to be awkward. I think he's shooting. Benya's shooting. He's going for kills. He's going to find Fauna.
Oh!
Haven goes down.
It's a 1v1v1.
It is very close right now. Who's to say?
Ah, Fakeson.
Falcons, they go down in third place. Fakeson shutting them down and realizing that they can't really go for the revive unless they want to give Benya a huge opportunity to push forward.
Fakeson knows he has to,
But it is
Benya knows he has to move. I like this.
a lot of smoke. Benya set this up for their approach very, very well. Where's smoke going to go out? Extra heal just to top themselves off as much as possible. And Benya's at the center of the zone. That's what they have been able to steal. That's what they've been able to take. However, Fakeson is getting closer to an opportunity of a revive onto Haven, just making sure that Benya isn't going too aggressive just yet.
That's the issue, though, is Benya is giving him the time for that revive. So even though he does have center circle, or control of it, rather, now he's facing a situation where he can be traded out unless Haven doesn't get up here fast enough. I mean, we'll see.
You want to give it to Mira, right? 2 versus 1.
I'm not sure because they're going to have to come off the same angle.
Yeah.
Even if they play for trades, Benya can just easily clip one without even... Again, those ridges are just so strong for solo peaks.
We're going to see how it works out here in a second.
Actually intentionally scattering them out a bit to try and hide which smoke he might be playing from. Though now it is down to 1. It's a bit more straightforward where Benya's hanging out at. But if the first knock goes his way, it's off to the races.
The good thing is they are trying to play as smart as they can together for trades. Benya now is going to be the one to have to move up. He's skirting the edge of that circle. Smokes all but one starting to dissipate, and I think his advantage is gone now.
Well, watch this grenade. It looks good. Oh, it did for a second, but pulled it away. It goes a bit too far, and now position recognized. Surprise.
17 kills, 18 kills and a win.
Sun goes out, spots the head. Molly gonna be shot out of the sky. And Benya's trying to relocate further. Haven still playing anchor on the top side.
Oh, I think Mira have this set up way too well now. Boom. Down he goes.
There it is. Almost looked like playing with their food at the end there. Benya did what he could, but it is going to be a Mira victory to start things off. 18 kill win on the very first Miramar.
I mean, he almost had it, man. Benya, there's an old adage in CS where if you're the last alive, they don't know where you are. Don't throw utility. But even still, you know, that nade, if he actually landed it, could have been the game there. But yeah, it was Team Mira with, man, they racked up the kills. Holy. My goodness, that was ridiculous. Shoutouts as well to the Falcons, also getting at least 14 kills in that game. That was an absolute banger ending. Well, slower ending, but banger to get up to that ending, I will say, Cammy.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Falcons and Mira potentially being point sponges on today, teams like Bestia and Yoho are, you know, they're going to maybe be a bit more interested in what happens. But we have 5 more games to go, so we're going to go to highlights and then back to the desk as we set up the second and last Miramar of the group stage here at PAS 6.
Welcome back. It is game 1 done as we're back for PAS game 2 just around the corner. I will be honest with you guys, from the jump, there's a bit of a delay between 1 and 2 as the player got disconnected during the making of the game. So we're going to have a little bit of a longer break here, but we will give you a little bit of time to, you know, maybe make a drink, go to
take a nap.
Thing. And first, look at leaderboards as I hang out with my two friends, the Cam and D, and Godspeed. Gentlemen, great
Friends?
cast. Whoa. Okay,
Thank you.
Godspeed's my friend. Godspeed and me,
No,
best
I said
friends. Me and
I'm happy
Cameron,
to
no
hear.
longer friends. Godspeed,
I'm
now
happy
best
to hear
friend.
it. I was shocked. I was surprised. I thought we were just
Oh.
colleagues, but I'd love to be your
All
friend.
right, you're back. You're back on the list. You're back in my top 5 on MySpace. All right, let's talk about
On MySpace.
Godspeed. 28
Uh.
points. Starting when they opened up on some of the coolest mortars I've ever seen. I believe it was on MRIA.
It was on MRIA. I think it was on. Was it on Vox? It was on. It was on one of them.
Michael, I think, but
or
Vox
Michael, and
ended
then
up going
Vox
down
got
too.
nated for trying to res something freaky happened there. But yeah, I mean that is a crazy game. Again, 28 points, 18 kills. Falcons were right behind them, but they were able to close that one out. And Toyo, I mean Toyo 7 kills. Considering the game they had, it was really just Benny trying to carry them from the depths. It's a solid finish for them as well. You can see Wuju 2 there getting 6 kills. But yeah, Mira just coming out and getting 28 points. And to our earlier conversation on the
that's
desk, like if
crazy.
Mira and Falcons continue, it is just the first game of the last day, but if they continue to sponge those points similar to a way that Furia did, I think our cutoff is going to be a lot more interesting.
All right, let's take a look at the overall leaderboard. Remember, up at the top. are the
So if
teams that
Mira
already played out
and
the
Falcons both get up to
By the
like,
end of today, whoever is
I'd
in
say
top
over
will
130
advance straight to the
points.
grand final. Everyone else
All
will
of a
go back to
sudden,
LCK.
Alkazi is looking
Determine
a lot
whether
more
or not
safe.
you've
If
got
they don't,
what it
then
takes to
Alkazi is
beat
not
them.
looking as
Now,
safe.
for me, I'm talking about the right side of that leaderboard. There are some disappointments as I go through this. Cameron, Team Liquid, only 1 point in that game.
I think that's kind of what we're looking
that
at,
is
you know?
rough. I think. Is there anybody else down there? Rock, I think, as well, maybe, that has sort of dropped the ball for us here.
I think, I think Rock Esports and Liquid, we mentioned how on each of their individual first days, Friday for Rock, Saturday for Liquid, they didn't really show up. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the level that we expect, and then this first game opened up in the way that it did. I mean, Rock got a couple of kills, I believe, but wasn't able to turn that into anything much. I'm going to give the usual caveat that we always do, right? It's only been one game. The thing is, though, it's the first game of the second day after disappointing starts. And so there's always this fear of like, what is this going to turn into?
I'll take a little head-to-head there of Mira and Toyo. We saw Mira using the mortar very well, but I also saw something that's been interesting. It seems like it's happening more and more lately, Godspeed, is I saw another player get knocked by the emergency cover. I think at this point, emergency cover may have more knocks than Gooners did in their event. Is it really that hard to control these emergency covers? Because it seems like
Wow.
team knocks are a regular thing.
I feel like we've seen a few kills and team knocks both internationally and regionally. I don't think I don't think it's like gonna be a big issue, but when you're in those, especially when you're in a bowl and you're using those and like you just need that literal emergency cover, otherwise you're going to die. It's just a risk you're gonna take, right? Like one of these Doritos might just fall on you, and that's just that's just
The danger of Doritos is one day they may kill you. We're going to leave you with that final thought as we take a short break. When we come back, it'll be time for game number 2 in the Dusty Dunes.
Close my eyes. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Time to close my eyes. Time to close my eyes. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun,
Welcome back. The break is done, and Miramar is about to get underway as we get ready for map number 2 of the day. My name's Tavis. I'm joined by Cameron, Davis, and Godspeed as we get ready to get into the action. First game was fun, pretty normal game, but this really seems to be coming down to that race to sort of the mid-pack, I guess I should call it, Godspeed, that 7 through 12 cutoff point, I think is where we're going to spend our day, or do you think we're still kind of looking all the way up into like 5 or 6 where people have enough space to push into?
I'd say 7 to 12 is pretty good. I'd agree.
Okay.
7 to 12 is probably where we should look, yeah.
Cool. So we'll keep an eye on that middle of the board. Just remember, at the end of the day, winning here, Cameron, which is cool and builds lots of excitement, doesn't really matter at all, does it?
I mean, it matters in the sense that you avoid LCQ.
Right.
It doesn't give you any sort of advantage going into the grand finals, but it means that you're not going to be at risk of falling out. You're in the grand final at that point. You just got to prepare to perform there. All the other teams have to run the risk of getting disqualified next weekend, which I don't, for the favorites especially, I don't think any of them are at that much of a risk. But we have had upsets before, so even if there is this expectation of like if we end up in the last chance qualifier, we should be good to go. Should is not the most comfortable as like where we are good to go, which qualifying to the grand finals is 100% quality.
What a beautiful path down the middle. And I do guess you're right. The winning or getting through at least gives you a proof of concept that your strategy functions. You can take it to finals. I think that's the beauty of LCQ too, though. It tells a whole bunch of teams, Godspeed, your concept did not work and needs to be revamped. And to me, that's kind of the most fun part of watching LCQ.
Yeah, and sometimes, again, it just comes down to, like, you're making the right decisions, but nothing is going your way, right? Like, and that happens a lot in PUBG, where it just feels like no matter what you do, no matter what adjustments you try to make, like, I mean, there's been days where you're just like, okay, well, today just isn't a good day. Like, what do you do?
You don't want today to not be a good day, but sometimes that happens.
Having or had a day like that yesterday, how they come into day and to adjust. Sometimes it is just sleeping it off, right? And other times it's a lot of prep work. We'll see. We'll see what works for the teams that currently are just on that cusp.
You know, there's an old disco song that I think said you can make all the right moves, but it might be the wrong time. You might choose the right time, but you might say the wrong words. You might have the right words, but you might make the wrong moves. And at the end of the day, like, none of that is inherently incorrect. It's just timing is so essential, right? You train 1,000 hours for the hour that you need to have your skills on play. So pretty fascinating. Looks like we get a hot drop, but not a hot drop, Cameron. Do you think this will stay pretty low key, or is this going to turn into a kerfuffle?
It depends. It depends.
Kerflufflin.
Do in this situation in game 1.
Hey, who would have guessed? Gooners.
Militar, Mira just left. And there is a probable opportunity for that here for 4 Dogs if they want to do so. But looking at the plane path, looking at the circle, their retreat would be into the danger zone of other teams. So it might not be in their best interest rather, to just fully retreat. At the moment, they seem to be sticking around, and they're getting enough loot here on the southern section that they should just be able to wait and see what Gooners wants to do from this situation. Yeah, that's my expectation here.
I agree. As long as they keep track of Gooners and just loot quick and get a vehicle, there's a hard spawn, I believe, to their east they can grab, if maybe they already grabbed it, then they should be able to get out. But, I mean, like we said, Gooners is here. They're here for... they're here for a good time, not a long time.
There you go. So I think you're right. I think it may turn into something. So I will excuse myself and turn it over to you, gentlemen, for match number 2 here on the Dusty Dunes.
Gooners are pushing for it. They really, really want this, which is worrying because you can see a small little nameplate of Ice Tech of 4 Dogs off on the west side. So if Gooners pushes directly into the southern section of La Cabrera, they're going to be running into a 4 versus 3 advantage against 4 Dogs. That's assuming that 4 Dogs doesn't spot it on approach. But they're aggressive, is the point.
Here's the real question, Cammy. Okay.
Yeah.
And I already know I'm going to get hate for asking this, but...
Do it. I got to hear it.
Do you think these boys got the dog in them to fight, or do you think they're just going to back off? I'm sorry. Oh, goodness gracious.
It wasn't even worth the build-up.
It wasn't. That's the best part. It really wasn't. It could have been a quick, but I felt the build-up was proper. Because that's what this fight is, right? It's all build-up.
Right.
There's no delivery, man. That's what I want to see.
Oh my god.
Gooners for all the sort of
they're not
jokes that we're making about them.
I mean, they're trying, right?
Yeah.
They're actively looking for the dogs.
Right, but they're not just W keying forward into the danger zone. I think they recognize that if they push any deeper into that area, that would be, suicide. And the Gooners are here to try and stir the pot a little bit, cause some chaos. They're not here to intentionally throw the game for all the jokes that we give about their playstyle and their intentions, for lack of a better word, in this competition. They are still approaching this as a proper esports competition, and I think that they are, at least in this specific instance, approaching this fight with a good strategy to it. In fact, they're even just rotating away. It's been over 4 minutes right now, and they dropped towards the end of the plane path, sure. But still, that's a lot of loot time that they've given over to 4 Dogs, and the Gooners might even be considering, do we just leave?
Yeah, it is possible that that's going to be their decision.
And with how slow this has been.
They are trying to do this the proper way. They're looking to play for trades. They had 2-2 when they were initially skirting that ridge. They're not going as a team. But Dogs just didn't give them the opportunity. Now we can see that Vorpal here is just, they're kind of just holding their edge. If anything, now Gooners with the opportunity to loot more and even get more gear and utility. But I'm surprised Dogs actually just maybe didn't go for a vehicle and try to leave. Like I said, there are multiple spawns around here, but looks like they did not for that. Now Gooners is inevitably going to run into the 4 Dogs.
They're going to do it in a smart way, I feel like.
That was a fake on us. They weren't looking to retreat away. They were trying to find a better angle, crossing the road in a safer spot once they had realized that 4 Dogs were all holding that section on the southwest edge. Crossing the road is one of the most dangerous things you can do right now. Now they're playing in from cover of their own. Potential high ground overlooking. Seeing simply Matt rush forward, even trying.
Vorpal should get audio on it, though.
Could get caught up by Vorpal, though. Vorpal should be hearing the footsteps at this point.
Yeah, and he is, I think, very close. Actually, no. Oh, there we go, though. It's not going to be sound cues. It's going to be Bliss. He actually sees them. And so now
get some damage, too.
Has indeed come to its climax, and I think I can answer my own question. It does look like they do indeed have that dog in them. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so sorry.
I love it.
That's what the audience wants. That's entertainment, baby. That's Hollywood. That's show business.
Showbiz.
I can respect that. But
Showbiz, baby.
They will find the Gooners at least. Oh, this is a nasty angle, though, and it's going to be good. No. Icy flex. That's a gross angle. He can't even get the flush. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that was... we all saw that happening. We all saw... What's that one TikTok meme? The the sort of the constant callbacks. I don't remember what it's called. You all know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, well, don't worry about it. Isoflex now is getting approached by Bliss, holding out the Mini 14. A little bit of a tag there. Great pre-fire on the swing. Bliss is doing a really good job of just trying to stay active. Got the first knock there. I think the revive did go through for Gunnar, so it is going to be a 4 versus 3 advantage for the green squad. But that is Sakura Zensen. You can just see on the ridge line, have yet to appear on the mini-map, but could be getting close now that they're hearing the shots.
Yeah, this is something we didn't even really get to talk about, is the fact that this is in the circle. So a lot of these teams, you know, as they do...
Like, if this fight doesn't go quick,
they can come over in third party.
Fight could happen.
Dogs are just a 2-man right now, because Ice Tech isn't even close to this. I mean, he's already gone all the way to the top of the crater, just the east of Crater Fields, next to Pipes. So, I mean, this is just a 2-on-4 at this point for the 4 dogs. Now they're just 2 dogs.
Yeah. Wondered why Ice Tech wanted to go so far ahead. Maybe thinking that the rest of the team was going to be able to leave, and then the timing of when the Gunners actually arrived kind of upset all of that. Who's to say, but it does put 4 dogs in a really rough situation, as there are at least one team in between the 2 sections of the squad. Some more shots going out from Bliss. And it really looks like Sakura Zensen are trying to look for multiple opportunities for third-party shots, third-party, at least kill steals is probably the best thing that they're looking for.
If they're going to be able to find anything. They were taking some shots earlier and some damage. They had to back off their ridge line, but you can see here 2 dogs still holding strong. I mean, this again, it's okay because this is in circle. It's not like they're fighting in some, you know, position. All
It's just so slow. We want to see the fighting.
In circle, so Gunners can really take their time. The other thing about Gunners is they've been pretty much controlling the entirety of the east side of La Cabrera, which means that they're also looting up. You can see they're I think that barrel has like a front end now, like a flash hider, right? They're getting grips, they're getting more ammo, they're getting good utility. You can see multiple smokes now. So Gunners, I mean, they're obviously benefiting from this far more. And of course, you know, they got the first kill, so good on them. As you stated, they're not just W-keying everything. Like, yes, they might be aggressive. Yes, they might just go for the hot drop and for the funsies plays, but they're still trying to do it, as you stated, with intelligence.
Yeah.
They are the intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, because they could have just W-keyed this, right? And either wiped them or just get wiped, and it would have been a mess, or it just would have been a crapshoot. But that's not what they're doing, so.
Nope.
Now, one thing that we should acknowledge that, yes, this fight is in the circle, but then there's going to be the question of vehicles. So if this circle doesn't hard shift into their area, that's going to make things complicated. We have a couple of seconds left until Phase 2 reveals itself. You can see on the map to the north, Ice Tech has been able to avoid danger. Listen, got to get back to the homies, right? So good on Lucid and Bliss for being able to stay alive, but the circle is going to be another hard shift to the west, away from La Cabrera. Both these teams now need to leave, but look at the rest of the field. Maxwin are suddenly looking really, really good. And Mira, their position, I think, if they're able to, you know, maybe consolidate just a touch from the 1-1-2, could be in a really good spot to try and control the zone this early on.
Yeah, they're in that position where Batulins likes to go up and kind of mountain gope on top of that.
K-Mind is still right next to them.
Or I should say east of El Pozo. But yeah, this
H1 has gone down.
Like, this fight isn't worth it anymore for Gunners or Dogs. Like, just get out of there if you can. There's nothing to be gained here anymore. Circle is so far away. These teams are already going to set up. That's experience right there. Bliss went for it. And you should know with a vehicle leaving, especially with a 4-man strong, that's probably bait. And sure enough, it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Great job by Gunners to grab another kill. 2 points for them so far. And I don't want to say that their chance of qualifying to the grand finals from the group stage is impossible, but
it's unlikely.
It's very unlikely, and every single kill, like, they need to start early and they need to start big. They need to go big from this position.
Well, you can argue that's what they're doing. I mean, hot dropping so far both games, trying to get those points. It's not impossible. It's just unlikely, but I mean, it's for this squad, I can see it happening.
Gunners, get out of there.
Get a few kills. That's not what I'm worried about with them. It's really the mid game that I worry about for Gunners. Now, I mean, of course, they can still go to LCQ, which if they don't make it, they will. They'll probably have a much better chance there. But we'll see. They're chasing them down.
Oh, Gunners lose.
Guile chasing down the Gunners.
He just got shut and shut down. I don't even know if Bunch of Guy were here intentionally third-partying this hot drop. I think that was just the most unlucky timing for the Gooners that you can imagine. And then Franks landed some amazing multi-knock spray.
Man,
That's super unfortunate.
Too close to the sun that time, and it was Bunch of Guy that just came in and just immediately took them out. Meanwhile, it's going to be Wuju 2 in an entanglement, if you will, with Toyo. But it's not that serious, you know? It's not that serious of an entanglement.
Yeah, just some, you know, casual
Yeah.
rotation. No real commitment.
Glad you picked up on that.
Micah now. Back to the north, though. Sakura Zensen were able to put themselves in a position on the edge, but Micah hears the vehicles, realizing it's a bit too hot for a solo player to try and hold on with. Bunch of Guy are going to be pushing up and over, and the vehicle is out of there. It's tumbling down the hill, but... And, okay, we're good. For a second, I thought it was going to be a bit of a oopsie-daisy for Micah. This does give 22 centimeters perhaps a touch of a timing, but I think it should be good for Micah. The problem is Pydim's in front. Where is the rest of Sakura Zensen? This is actually Micah being heavily split off by the rest of the squad.
Dude, Bonja de Gallo just does not give a hoot right now. Chasing down multiple teams, anyone in their sightlines. I mean, they already got 4, right? So why not just keep
They are ready to go, go, go.
They have 17 points. We just talked about a situation where Gooners would potentially do the same thing. I mean, they're in the same boat, so why not get them hot and get them while they're early? Get those points, get the kills where you can.
Make it work.
Hardshift West, now Hardshift East on phase number 3. Biden does go down to Micah, so the lone player of Sakura Zensen isn't going to fall that easily. The team's got to make their way east. El Pozo is not going to be a playable position anymore.
A bit too aggressive, I would argue, Cammy, but...
Yeah.
Either way, they still have 3 members up. See what they can do with it. As you stated, a lot of teams were opting to go into Pozo. 55 being one of them, and then we got that pretty disgusting shift all the way to the east side, or the southeast side, I should say. Mira, though, or Mission Ready International, of course, not Mira. Muria. Center and a flat top compound, or a concrete compound, I should say. And that's going to be a great position for them. Duel trying to fly over. Meanwhile, Sakura Zensen now have to reevaluate their rotation. Multiple teams in front of them. Yin Yang are tasked with taking the north, and they're going to have to contend with, it looks like, actually nobody. Really just 55 coming into that north side.
Yeah, there's also a couple members of Mira, 2 still playing in El Pozo with other 2 down to the south. Bliss is going to be landing. I think this is a recall for 4 dogs. But recalling into where? Getting loot from where? That's always the big challenge.
Yeah.
With the blue chips in esports. That's going to be, yeah, Bliss instantly going down. So another point going the way of Yin Yang, first of the game so far.
Fakeson, he's still chilling up there.
Oh, wait. I mean, I feel like this team is, especially watching some of the games back yesterday, and I just feel like they put themselves in really good positions. They just can't seem to capitalize.
They read it well and then just get rolled.
Okay, good flare gun pick up by Vinny. That's a great
I mean, they did run through the gas can
More
earlier and died to the gas
and
can.
that's the real advantage of getting that flare gun. Sure, the loot call down is nice. We all like level 3s. We all like advanced weaponry. But the BRDM is really where it's at. Now, Wuju 2, though. Seems like Toyo is where their goal is. Emmy's having to back away, playing behind a wall. The Wuju 2 don't just brainlessly W key there. They're going to stop just a touch short and use their new range to get some utility in. It's not going to find any contact, however, in the blue, overtaking players like Lucid, and some tags going their way as well. Seems to be that Wuju 2's approach has been a bit stalled out. They need to find something quick.
Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable.
Into the circle, like you said, Toyo, I mean, gatekeeping pretty hard right now. They're having issues, and they might even opt to go around this on the north side if they go for that rotation. Meanwhile, Liquid is going to be in that 2-2 split. Oh, that's a gorgeous split. You have to imagine they're going to want to consolidate, but that's hard. You have that anchor position in the barn. That's safety. That's good. You still want people up top, so that's a tough decision for them to make. Sakura Zensen as well, very split.
Saw Sneak, that tree's in the way, though.
Northeast corner. They didn't play yesterday, excuse me. They played the first day. And again, they put themselves in these good positions, but when it comes to like rotating in, if they happen to get cut off on the edge, that's when they really seem to struggle, just getting in and fighting their way in. So we'll see if they can do that here. Toyo coming in from the back, though, and the blue is going to take shots at Wuju too, and they're going to be right on out of there, Cammy.
Oh, good damage.
Just
no knock,
barely
however.
doesn't get him in time.
Guy will follow on up. Can Sakura Zensen follow up? Wuju finding a nice position in the bowl, but look at just how surrounded they are. I think that's an instantaneous emergency cover flare getting dropped by sneak attack, or certainly considered it. There is a bit of cover for them to utilize. It might not be as dangerous, but no, it's more so the fact that they're just not going to stay here. This still isn't even in the zone. It was a good position to sort of pause for a brief moment, catch their breath, catch their wits, but now they're going to be sending it on in to Sakura Zensen as Maxwin also
Figure out what they needed to.
Nagayo had been on a warpath. Roz is going to knock Teknosh. You can see here, though, Shap is going to go for the trade. It's chaos back and forth. And Max Win holding on to this one actually quite effectively as well. Only realistically losing one here.
Franz.
Close this fight out. That's going to be a nice win for them. Even still, they're not in the circle.
Now
so
Mirror getting in here.
Going down means more and more issues, more delays for them to get inside the circle. And now it's just up to Hero.
Yeah. And this is Mira here. I don't even think Mira were, I mean, they were close to this area for sure, but I think they intentionally chose to leave their point of safety to try and take this fight on, and this is what Mira does best. They start to third party. We're seeing the kill feed light up. Falcons got eliminated. A bunch of deaths across the board. And Hero from Maxwin decided to use an actual AR instead of the VSS. Is able to find one kill from it. And Mira with 2 kills on the board for this round. Deciding to back away.
Yeah, just love that from them, though. As you stated, they really like to get activated, especially towards the mid to late game when they make sure they have 4 members up. That's another thing they're very good at. They don't tend to lose members early. So you can see Toyo still trying to deal with what's left here of Wuju 2. It's going to be Lucid second floor. They got to be careful, though. They're getting pelted from across the way.
Look for the Panzer play.
Oh, what happened? Did he switch
What
weapons on
happened
accident? I think he might have fat fingered. I don't know.
That's what it looked like to me. Yeah, that's all that I can think of as well. This gives Lucid a second chance at life. Molly comes in, though.
Oh, he's dead.
It's going to be a bit more of a struggle. I don't think the first aid is going to come there fast enough. It is going to be an elimination of Wuju 2. They're going to go out. Lucid burns. And now down to 11 teams. Where can Toyo go for now? Their struggle is not over. They still need to make their way into the zone across the road. We're Duel from the opposite side. Trying to face on No Way. There's a BRDM in play. DNL is trying to rat in that position.
I wonder if they know if he's actually in there.
They're going to see him in a second, even if they're not aware of it.
Oh, okay. He's just like, all right.
Now it's moving.
What if it just starts moving? Like, wait a second. There's someone in this thing. The problem is neither of them really have weapons to, I mean, what, a mutant and a Mark 12? Not necessarily the BRDM melters that you'd be hoping for, but getting it done.
Yeah.
And there is ammo on the bodies in front of them, so why not?
Slow and Steady wins the race. DNL does pop out. That thing was starting to smoke a fair bit, so probably the better play, but with 2 members of Duel make that 3 with the arrival of Wooly. Surrounding this position, it's looking pretty difficult.
And Nade does a little bit. He should be able to get res, though.
And now Mira arrives.
Should be an easy res.
Trying to hold on to this position. Toyo going to be following up, and I think Mira, they're in a very big struggle spot.
D5, they've just been dictating so many rotations as well from this top spot. No one's really been able to contest them or stop them. As I say, Hyman is going to knock Karak finally, putting a stop to their harassment of the rest of the lobby. They're going to have to recover and get that one taken care of as far as the
How you doing?
Hyman going for a second if he can find it. Meanwhile, you have Liquid on the south side of this and Rock as well on the east to the south, spreading with so much control, Cammy, and they're going to start moving up here as soon as this closes.
Shap trying to stay alive for Max Win. And then Mission Ready. They've had a really good spot in the zone since I think it was phase 2. And have been able to farm up a touch. 5 kills for them. Question is always going to be what can they do when they have to leave the compound. But Rock Esports...
Where's Team Liquid right now? 39 points right now.
The Molly does take Trisk down, but under 13 HP needs to play safe, and that's a
Nate.
frag grenade.
He tried.
Down. Yeah.
He really did. And RBN is going to find that one, though. That should give them enough time to recover. Duel, though, is coming over to crest that ridge. They're going to see that smoke. That might be bad news bears for Rock. As Liquid, again, they have been pretty quiet, actually. They've been on the south side this entire time. They have 0 kills.
0 kills so far.
So far,
really?
Coming into this.
Lines that up on Souls. A second spray onto IQ into RBN. And
I mean,
Liquid, they should be
IQ
looking at this as the sign to go.
can
Trying to fight for
be
this
really
against the
crazy
opening
sometimes.
of the knocks against Rock. Problem is, though, we see some pressure from teams like 55, maybe deterring Liquid just a touch. It's going to be a medium shift to the northwest as Rocky Sports get eliminated. How many kills is that for Duel right now? That's a fair bit for them.
Yeah, they cleaned up quite a few, actually, players. At least 2 teams so far that we've been able to see. You can see the new circle now favoring Mira and 55, who, again, have been here for a while. So now the onus is going to be on to pretty much Duel and Liquid to figure out how they want to enter this. There's enough space on the south and east side for both teams to exist, but I imagine with Sparking being so close, they might go for a play here on Duel.
Yeah, they tried to get the first initial knock, but it wasn't to be found, and now Duel know that there is a Liquid.
Halo
knock
has
to the
like
south of them.
no loot.
Neither of the teams are in the zone. Do either of them find value out of fighting against each other? It's either them or 55. 55 are still just holding on to the center position. Shap goes down to Psycho. And look at Mission Ready. They're starting to spread out as well. They're starting to leave their own compound. Could be pushing into Duel from the north. And that could be the opening for Liquid to try and take over this section of the zone if they can recognize what's going on.
Box was spotted out. Damage
Yeah, nice
out
knock,
onto
but
him.
Basically, it wouldn't have changed much. Either way. Yeah, you can see they're trying to posture here towards Mira to see if they can play that road right in front of them, but they have to be careful. Liquid, it looks like they're backing off. They're actually just opting to play that little corner that Alo has. Duel still trying to work. I like this, though. 6 kills. It's solid game for them so far.
Yeah.
Really solid game.
Yeah. 4 for K-Mine especially. Once one of the best players in the region took a little bit of a break, and you know it's not going to be the exact same, especially when you first come back.
But yeah, K-Mine definitely was
Listen.
one of the better players for sure in our region. Definitely always been very strong. It's kind of fun, cool seeing him back here. I got to talk to him a bit in Korea as well, so glad to see the lad is back in the scene.
Yeah. Just having fun and, doing their best to sort of turn back the years. Currently 4 kills right now and only 3 kills for 55. I thought from this position with how much action we were seeing that they would have a bit more. But, it is always the downside of being in the center position. You don't always get the same opportunities for kills, but tell you right now with the cover that they have, the smokes that they have, they are making teams like 55 and Team Mira as well have to work for it.
Yeah, and 55, it's...
I
would be much more critical if they had more sightlines, but their ridge is really good. It's just that there's really not a lot that they can see as far as like the immediate kills that have happened around them. So I don't blame them either. And they've been trying to get active. We've seen actually quite a few knocks coming out from 55, so they're definitely trying to get involved. That is going to be devastating. Oh, I think it's going to go right onto Stakers and Gats. Oh, they actually spread out.
I went too far, anyways.
Had that gone down just a bit earlier. It was a great attempt, though. I like it.
Or a bit later, I don't know. There was nothing to stop the vehicle was the big problem. Nothing for it to sort of run up against. But now here comes the push, but Duel are falling apart. It's not just MRIA, it's also MIRA. It's like the same team. As far as Duel is concerned, though, a double knock onto members of Mission Ready. And you can tell they're constantly looking behind themselves, waiting to see if there's another team going to be cresting that ridge. Toyo don't seem to be too active that front just yet, but Liquid now also overtaking this space. Duel get eliminated. A great grenade by Michael is gonna shut them down, and we're into the top 6.
You can see Liquid were looking hard to find those kills, but they didn't really get much off of it. So now they're going to start to shift now towards Sakura Zensin, who have been this duo for quite a while. Hyman and Micah have been slow rolling this into the circle, and that's going to be right on 55's edge. I wonder if they're going to run into 55 first, or Sparking is going to rip Aranzera's head right off. That's going to create the opening they need. It's a 3-on-3, but again, don't forget about the 2 members of Sakura Zensei here just underneath him, Cammy.
Nades Util coming
Yeah,
out,
great
but no
grenades
more
coming out
knocks.
from Liquid, and the shots coming through as well. Liquid, they're not pushing on the 55. They're wrapping around. They're making sure to control every single aspect of this edge, of this ridge line. They don't want to let the team that they're just completely unaware of stab them in the back as they try and overtake 55's position.
Stabbed in the back.
They have a lot of information. They need to make some decisive plays, and with mission ready coming across Mira, this could be Liquid trying to wrap
Mariah and Mira.
Smoke comes out. Haven over pushing into it. Spots Michael anchoring on the high side.
Oh, Mira. Meanwhile, it's going to be Liquid with an absolutely flawless wipe of 55.
Sparking with all 4 kills.
Look at that. What a beast. What a handsome beast.
Yeah.
Oh, just
We
get
got the flush.
Why not?
I just has to find the
More
next, but
hopes
it's
on the
LFP 1.
Up and over. They're looking for the last member of Sakura Zensen. LFP aren't going to give them the opportunity to do that yet. We're going to make sure that Liquid can't run away with things right now. They're in a position to get a second chicken dinner in a row. Not the same kill count, but it does not matter. Team Mira are really showing up here, which is to be expected. They've just been so consistent, especially on the latter half of this year.
Yeah, it kind of, again, goes to show you what they're capable of when they're playing with confidence, right?
Yeah.
We just hope that we... I'm just going to call it now. They will be going through to grand finals. I just hope they continue to play like this in the grand finals. A team that still is fighting for that position here is going to be Liquid. See like they are looking to recover that. You also have Sakura Zensen. Highband's been alive, still accumulating points, at least placement. So that's going to be great for them. As Mira now going for the wrap, and they have so much control, especially if they get past this ridge line to this tree.
Bit of a scary run. That's why other members of Team Mira are posting up to try and cover and keep both Highman and members of Liquid distracted. And it seems that LFB is going to make it into place with an MG3, in that position. Mira do have not a lock, but a pretty tight hold on this second game here. But you can never count Liquid out. You can never count Sparking out. Already 5 kills solo for this one player.
7 kills.
Yeah, if LFP goes down here, I mean, that unravels the game for Mira. So,
yeah.
Again, an opportunity here, especially with Liquid have 3. It's not like they're a duo or solo player. They still have 3 members alive. They are fighting their way into the circle. Ooh. Haven's going to find that nade on a Sparking. So now just Luke 12
Sparking
and Alo
going down
left
kind of
to make
sucks.
something happen. Alo looking for the final member of Sakura Zensen. He finally does find one, and now it's a 2-on-3. But again, the position that you can see LFP1 has is just so difficult for these two boys to deal with. Is you also have a Panzerfaust in play, because why not?
So why not? Yeah. Made it all the way to the end game.
Yeah, and if you're going to use the Panzer, you want to be in that position where Haven is, where he's up above.
It goes out, but the cover blocks it.
You wanted it to land right next to it. Doesn't really seem to matter. Fakes in is going to find Alo. Now it's just down to 1. What can Luke do?
He does have a Groza.
Decided not to peek again. There's no reason to throw this. There's no reason to give them a knock. Just hold on. Beautiful stuff. Clean. Very clean.
Nice.
And 10 kills.
Yeah.
As well.
Still looking good. That Panzer at the end by LFB. You could tell he was getting a bit bored. All the action was still staying on the south. His position, as crucial as it was, did not need to come into play just yet. But it does not matter. A win is a win, and I'm sure they're all going to be celebrating a second chicken dinner in a row.
Yeah, not bad at
I would
all.
be.
Again, finding themselves with 10 kills. Again, qualifying to
2 chicken dinners in group stage? Yeah.
They absolutely needed that. You also had mission ready, making it to the end game there as well, which is nice to see. And then you also had the
Heck
team
to the
of
diddlies.
into an end game, as you stated, Cammy. It was K-Mind who was able to accumulate some kills. But again, that is going to be it for Miramar. We're done with that map for the day. In fact, for the group stages, as we're going to set up for the next segment with none other than Toffees. We're going to throw you to the highlights, and we'll be right back.
I run to the toilet.
Welcome back. Game 2 is done, and Liquid is on the run, though Mira seems to be leading the sprint to the top as they get another big game for them. My name's Tavies. I'm joined by Godspeed and the Cammy D as we break down the last Miramar match of the group stages. Let's see. Let's start with the opener. The hot drop at the start, Cameron. We saw, I believe it was Gooners and the Dogs looking to get some points.
Yeah.
They did have the dogs in them, then they didn't have the dog in them, and then they had the chickens just laying eggs all over their face.
All right.
Should we continue
Run to the bathroom.
Is this a symptom of teams
I'll be
at the
back,
bottom
peoples.
going like, we need points, let's get in?
How's everyone doing
Or is this
tonight
just, like,
as well?
Weird timing from the jump.
The weird timing was on Gooners leaving directly into the cavalcade of Bunch of Gaio, but I do think in the question of, at the end of the day, end of the group stage, teams are much more likely to go for wild plays, Hail Mary plays. Hasn't really worked out for any of them because it is kind of everyone's favorites at the top. Team Mira, second win in a row, and Liquid do a good job and get another good game behind them, this time with 12. No, actually, not another good game. Their first game was trash. I just blacked that one out, I think. But hey, they made up for it with this one. But Sakura Zensen and Mission Ready both having pretty alright showings, trying to climb up and get into a better position themselves.
I'm trying to remember the first day of play. I think Mira won one of those two Miramars as well. Am I correct remembering that? Godspeed, I know you weren't here. I'll double check
again.
it. But Miramar, I think Mira.
I'm pretty
won
sure
another
Mira. I'm
Miramar.
pretty sure Mira. Yeah, they won. I think they won the very first.
So, I
map,
mean, if I'm
not
remembering correctly,
mistaken.
this is a team with Mira in their name, in their name, has won 3 of their 4 Miramars, which I think is outstanding when you think of it in that context. To be able to win 75% of your games on a given map is crazy to me, Godspeed.
Yeah, they won the last 2, and then they won the very first game. Yeah, so that's impressive.
Yeah,
it's definitely impressive. They get 102 points. They're good to go.
Yep. And if you can take that strategy that clearly works so well at Miramar and flex it out to the other maps, I think that's when things get absolutely crazy. Now, other things that we saw, I do think Gaio was rotating pretty close to that fight and saw a chance to sort of just backstab some limpers as they left town, and Gooners suffered. Another crazy fight we saw was, I think it was Maxwin versus, ironically enough, Gaio and Dogs in the warehouse where Mira showed up and once again got to kick off their cavalcade of kills.
Going to the bathroom.
Yeah, Mira.
Well, Mira's safe now. Falcon's still not. Toyo are getting there. Falcons are getting there. Obviously, Alcadzia not in this lobby, so we'll see how they're doing. They've been talking about Team Liquid. They're up to 51 points.
That sort of play specifically to set themselves up for the late game. Mira and Furia, for the same note, they just killed their own way there, and because they're just so good at it, it works out more often than it doesn't. Sometimes you don't need to overthink it. You just need to fight better than your opponent. This is a battle royale. At the end of the day, it's just who can, literally outlast everyone else. And Furia, there's a simplicity to the way that Furia and Mira do it.
Let me ask you this, Godspeed, and this is, again, I know it's become, we joke about it as a meme, but I know you played pro, and whether or not we like to make fun of how long it's been, you did play pro. You've been in these situations. Is there a number when you are in a qualifier where you as a team get out of the game and you look at the scoreboard and you go, whoa, we broke that number? Like, is there like does the fact that Mira sees that they just broke 100 mean that the next 4 games they can completely change, or they can start to say, like, you to change your mindset at all when you break that threshold?
Not really.
Okay.
At least, again, at least for the teams that I played on, like, if we were doing really well, we just continue to do the same thing.
Boom,
we really
boom,
didn't,
boom, boom, boom.
The fact was, until
Just
the
hammer
last
it home.
Which, man, we were good at throwing. We were really good at throwing. But like what
Seems like it's
breaking a but breaking a threshold and stuff like that, like, unless you're like breaking some record or something, it's like, oh, that was really cool. But yeah, it's just business as usual, right? You want to maintain the same mindset and the same kind of strategy that's getting you those points and breaking those point thresholds.
Now, a fight that I think was fun for you guys, but also had to be very confusing for Duel, is they fought Mira and Maria at the same time. Like, it seems to me like, as a player, that would become very, like, I got to knock on Mira, I got to knock on Maria. Like, there's got to be an aspect of that that has to be a little bit difficult to deal with.
I bet a lot of people are still just calling him Luminosity.
Teams keep coming up against each other over and over again, Cameron. I don't think they meant to troll name themselves specifically for this reason, but Mira keeps finding Maria on every single map.
I mean, it's close enough that I think they actually might have at least appreciated the opportunity to butt up in the kill feed with Mira like that, but for Mission Ready. For Mission Ready, though, this is a team that I want to see step up even further. Godspeed said at the start of the show, this is one of our favorite teams to watch. I think they're just super enjoyable in their play style. It's silly, but in a way that feels correct, and it's not a cynical silliness in the way that they approach the game. They just go for weird plays that, you know, oftentimes can work out more often than it doesn't. It's been a bit of a slow start for them in the group stage here, as well as the two Miramars. But I think especially if you get Vox into a BRDM, you're going to see some magic happen. It's going to be unprecedented. It's going to be a bit out of the ordinary, but in a game where there are 15 other teams that sometimes kind of all do similar things, there is a general strategy and a flowchart that a lot of teams stick to because it's what works. If you can kind of break the mold even just a little bit, you can find some really good dividends from that.
So,
yeah.
Official statement from Trevor, who's working with Mission Ready, was it wasn't a troll, it was looking for a competitive advantage since they had to change their names anyway. So they picked one that they thought would confuse other people. You know,
every edge.
Right. Take Trevor with a grain of salt in that if you'd like. But I thought it was pretty funny. He's like, well, you know, if we're going to change our name, let's do something that messes with other teams, keeps them on their toes. Would be pretty funny if they stole the same icon as well. So that said, though, remember, again, for those of you watching at home, the casuals that maybe you don't play as much as you used to, they don't see things like logos in games. So something like a name close could cause a little bit of confusion here and there. That said, Godspeed, pretty interesting first two games. We're switching it up. We're going to our quote. We're going to stop calling them wildcard matches. We're going to our solo maps, if you want to call it that. This is a pretty good circle. South of the rivers, nothing down by Hosan. Nice big open area in the middle. Do you think most of the teams are happy with this circle?
Yeah, I'd say most of the teams that are in it, at the very least. There's a lot of space to play. The problem is that area between Hosan and that swamp, basically where 55 is, there's really not a lot of great playable space there. Like maybe enough for one or two teams, but it's very open. You also have like that weird little...
The swamp itself is also not like great either, because it'll slow your vehicles down a lot of the time, so it's hard to rotate through.
For these teams to play that they would normally have, but this is a very, I would say, like normal area for circles to go, right? A lot of these teams are familiar with the places they like to go. They probably have set plays in their rotations. So yeah, this is a good circle. I guess you could say it's good. You know,
which so far is what I want to see in a final, Cameron, because I think some of our final days have been a little crazy so far. So the fact that we had 3 in a row that have been consistent is nice. But it looks like there might be developing action, so I'm going to head out, leave it to you, gentlemen. Game 3 underway.
Ooh, Gooners, are they looking for some revenge action on the Bonjigayo? They're circling the area. It's a Panzer in play.
Like it.
T-Sock's going to be pushing forward to look for it.
I would be surprised.
Get in there. Get involved.
I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised
what happened last game.
if Gooners takes the fight.
Simple.
Spot of the vehicle.
I would be surprised, however, if they were doing it because it was Bonde.
They might. They're always very fun to watch. And the roll of the slide in, cinematic as you like. But it's 22 getting a double knock to counter things out.
Oh! No!
Great frag grenade. What?
The Gooners go down again. Bonjigayo says we are not to be messed with, as that nade will take him down, but it's too late. This is going to be an easy recovery for Bonjigayo. In fact, they
can't believe it.
Is there a res station by them though for them to get Theros? That's the question.
Oh, there might.
I don't think so.
I don't see one. Yeah, I think they're going to have to leave this position, and I don't think that's going to be worth it because it's close enough to center. Then again, it's not like the greatest position just in terms of the terrain surrounding it, so I don't know. I'm of two minds about it.
I just don't.
I don't know. It depends on how quickly you think you can get him up.
Hosan, but I mean, They might go to Hosan. Either way, that was a crazy quick cleanup. Bonja Nagao is not to be trifled with.
Yeah, that was sick. That was really chaotic, and then just suddenly Gooners were all dead. I
Just
couldn't even
boom,
tell you
boom,
how
boom,
it happened. It was that fast.
Like I said,
Gonna have to rewind and watch the tape.
Bonja Nagao, one of my favorite teams. I'm just gonna switch it.
Said, yeah.
I'm just gonna switch it. Anytime a team wipes a team I like, that team's one of my favorite teams to watch. Speaking of one of my actual favorite teams to watch, Liquid, with a nice set of control. We actually see them play from these circles, from this position a lot. They usually do this split, that compound you see Luke 12 at. So this is as usual. We'll see if they can close this one out as long as circles are favorable. You also see Sakura Zensen in that area. Falcons holding off the northeast. Cammy, is there looking to punish maybe Ying Yang? Hold on, 55 and no way are going at it. Aranzera is gonna.
How did Karak knock at that knock?
The amount of Panthers that Karak just dodged and weaved and ducked. This guy's getting a master at dodgeball. But no way, they're still inside. They've still made their way into the building. It is going to be a 3 versus 2 advancement up on to the rooftops here. Aranzera playing actually down on the steps, and then Karak on the top. So this is actually a really good split for it, but a stun comes into play. Aranzera with a double knock. And no way, it's all falling apart for them. Great hold by 55.
Great hold by Aranzera, dude.
From Aranzera, yeah.
Didn't even need the rest of his team there. That was just, it was beautiful. It all started from that initial knock off the drive up with the crash. So well done. Again, 55. They're always a team that I feel like they're scrappy. You know, they may not qualify all the time for a lot of our regional events, but they are a team that is very scrappy, and sometimes they really surprise us. So we'll see if, I mean, they have a long way to go if they want to make it through group stage, but we'll definitely see them again in LCQ if they don't happen to make it, and I'm sure they'll have fun there as well. They're just a fun team to watch. Inconsistent, but very fun.
Yeah, when they're on, they're on.
Yeah.
Benya and Toyo, looks like they might be camping this glider from Four Dogs. Can't tell if Four Dogs want to go for this or not. This is not in the zone, though. So even if this is just a camp on the rotate down to the south, because this is on the northern island, this could be a good play by Toyo. And something that could sort of jumpstart their action. They're in 6th place, so they're looking good. Despite all the criticisms that we've kind of had with them so far, they're able to show up when it matters, at least enough to qualify. And, oh, I know how tempting that shot is. But they're looking for a better position for the full-through follow-up.
Oh, man, look at him even baiting that glider. Oh, and Vorpal's just slow rolling forward. Okay, there it is. First knock, easy money. He's going to find a second with the help of his team. Benya's up there. Capitan's going to find 2. And oh no, another early departure for 2 of the members.
It's not what you want to see.
Members falling here for the dogs. The real question is, Cammy, who let the dogs out, you know?
But not Toyo, they're putting them back in their crates, back in their kennels.
I can't stop with the dog, but I don't know what it is with this team name. I've never been like this. Oh my goodness. I actually love that team.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, Purdy's going to find Lucid.
Where'd you two? So they actually lost someone super early on. I think K-Mine found the first. They actually
Duel.
brought them back and then got back in a fight with Duel.
Would you too?
Won it all out. We only see the end here.
Yeah, I wish we
Now
could
it
see
looks
that
like
fight.
Liquid's gonna try and pick some up. Yeah, Seifu goes down. Sparking's gonna steal that one away. So Duel doesn't even get that kill point for themselves.
Meanwhile, Bonja de Gallo, the Gooner Slayers, apparently going to be pretty close here in Hosan to both Yang and Sakura Zensen.
What?
Let's see if they're just going to continue this position again. This is
Mirror's at 102. They're safe. Falcons are at 76. They're almost safe, I feel like. Toyo is at 73, so they're almost safe.
You have 55 to the northwest. Rock even holding that swamp area I was talking about.
So then you have Pest at 69 and Yahoo at 67. Yin Yang really being the closest team to them. Team Liquid is probably going to make their way up there. And now Wuju 2 are trying to make their way up. They got 4 kills in this match, so they're up to 40. I don't know. It's really close.
Which, you know, it's not the worst decision. It's still the center of the zone, right? And for most of these teams, they're in a spot that they can rotate out cleanly enough. It's if other people start to join, then things can maybe get complicated. But that does leave the opening.
Like, right now,
to be
I feel like
3-4
Yin
of
Yang,
teams
Sakura
that
Zenson,
rotate
and
in,
Team
but
Liquid
not just
are all
because
really
of
going to be vying
also
for
Toyo and, you know,
the
remaining
last
members
2
of
spots,
a bit of another blue chip
unless they
recall
get
at
so
UG2,
many that they catch up to
second
Alcadzia.
for them.
And then you have those 3
Getting a
teams
safer
making it.
backup, play back up as 4.
And when you're talking about those 3 teams fighting for the top,
Especially with how early this game is
MRIA
going, so
and
it's
Wuju
great to
2,
get them back
along,
in.
I'm really like all the way down the leaderboard. They're not like super far away points-wise to those teams.
With how dense this is, I mean, that's going to be the freest res known to man. As the circle is.
So I feel like we're gonna have no way of knowing how this is gonna play out until we get to like game 17, game 18.
Super spacious.
Okay.
There's the hard shift to the east. There's the nonsense we're waiting for now. So the teams of Rock, Max win, Wuju 2, 55. Less so, we'll have to make a decision later, but we'll at least have Circle now. And even Maria, mission ready. They're all going to be, again, finding space within the circle, but there's just a lot of abundant space on the east now, Cammy, which means that the pileup is going to be on that west edge.
It really is, especially Hosan's going to limit the angles that teams could approach around that spot. Bojagayo spotting Sakura Zensen, kind of rotate clockwise around them. It's going to be Liquid and Mira probably trying to take advantage of the available space in the center, but Yappa rather gets a nice knock and a kill onto Theraz. So distracted by a team on the south, it gets struck by a team coming in from the north.
One called that the smooth criminal move. Seeing still with 3 members alive. Ooh, a headshot from Micah. Okay, immediately landing on Kane. He's going to get out of there, but again, this is all happening within the circle, so just minor micro adjustments here. These teams want to get to the east side of the Hosan so that they can at least rotate out if necessary. It looks like sneak attack is just going to barely get out of there, actually. It's just fine. Not even scathed. Not even a little bit. What is... Oh, setting a mortar down? Is that what's going on?
I don't know, but the tire popped regardless. So it's not looking good for Rock Esports. They tried to catch Wuju2 out on the rotate, but they instead themselves end up falling a bit of a victim to that. Kurt getting a knock in the kill feed on a high man, so good for Liquid to try and make a good showing with their position. Again, if you open up the map, have that on the second monitor. We always recommend it. You can see just how much space Mira, Falcons, and Liquid have, keeping so many teams in Hosan from making their way through. And Pentalo, another knock on Apidem. Grenade out, should be looking to finish this. Oh, but it bounced
Not gonna get the
just enough
flush.
away.
Apidem now, and this is a decision you make. If you're Sakura, do you go for that push? Probably not, right? Because you have to deal with other members, potentially losing Nox. We know that there's no teams that could immediately punish them, but it's always the risk. So they're just going to hold on to that knock for now. It should... Oh, actually, Penta even gets it. Okay, never mind. I thought they should be able to res that.
I think they got an 8 onto it. Another one that we didn't end up seeing.
I think with the number of angles, the threat positions around Hosan, Bojagayo are realizing that they don't actually have as much control as maybe they thought.
Yeah.
But all of them are going to be pressed under the thumb of Liquid. Only 1 kill for them so far, but you've seen them land a couple of really devastating shots for teams that just peek out even for a brief moment in their direction. But of course, the veterans as they are, Liquid are not going to get so tunnel visioned onto one area that they're kind of forget about the other degrees surrounding them, making sure that they're not getting slowly approached from other angles, other trajectories.
We are making their way into the circle now as well, as we can see Wuju2 kind of setting up to look for Mira if they're able to punish or maybe get to them later, as Mira with just a great position right now. Great split, 55 again. Opted to just stay on the west side. It's probably smart as well, considering they didn't need to overextend their rotation too far. Circle was right in front of them, and they were able to get this high ground. Bojagayo, meanwhile, is now going to have to deal with the great escape of Hosan, which all these teams are eventually going to get funneled into that eastern point. And man, getting out of Hosan is awful if you're stuck in there, let me tell you.
Yeah. I'm just shocked to see so many teams go into the city. It wasn't even in the center of the zone in the previous
He was center in
phase,
circle
but now it's
1,
gonna shift.
but yeah.
Yeah. Not since then. It's just no one wants to play outside of it, especially with teams like Miro and Falcons already taking position. But teams arriving from the south now. Max went up against Wuju2. Lucid gets a knock. And then other members going to arrive for the support. Heroes swinging around the side. Panzerfaust in hand. With Lutsen and Sneak Attack both going down. Suddenly things are turning the way of Maxwin's favor.
Man, this is the second time they've been kind of pushed upon and they've turned the fight around. We saw it last game in Bunch of Gal, even though they were helped by Mira. Even still, Maxwin able to kind of just put their foot down in these fights and hold their ground. And look at this. 3-on-2 in their favor.
3-on-1 now. 4-on-1.
I don't know if I would have recommended the attempted vault there, especially once getting shot, but Teknosh back up on their feet. Seifu, I think, is the last member up. Bit of a jump over. Seifu spotted the Panzer, though. Now it's going to be the VSS coming on out. Swinging around the side. It's going to be a grenade to finish them off. Fantastico stole one of the kills away, but that's still 3 points going the way of Maxwin.
That was very
Hockey
well
Sports
dealt with by Maxwin.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Now it's 55 versus Mira.
Oh.
Crashing into Mira's position. And some great grenades coming out of Fanta specifically. It's all down to R and Zera. And make it 0. 55 get eliminated. Haven does go down. I don't know if Mira are going to be able to revive them back. There is a blue chip revival center not far from them. We can even see it on the mini-map. But, looks a bit too vulnerable this far into the game.
That is, like,
really
wide
hope
open.
Mira continue to build on what they're doing here today. Or just in this... Just over the last, like, couple months. I really hope they can build off this, because they are just looking so good. Every single game. Every event we see them after they've, you know, we talk about them.
Yeah, I mean, let's
choking, whatever you want to call
let's
it.
point out as well.
Still come back strong every single start of every event, whether it's group stage
that
final. So again, very impressed with
that
them.
Falcons
really hope that they can keep this going.
are one of the only teams.
Mission ready, takes space on the east. And then Toyo.
Well, I guess in
later
Alcadzia
rivals
as well.
to Rosan, later rivals to the zone after the
That
camp or rotation camp of 4 dogs.
are actually signed. Oh wait, Furia.
Back out the north.
Yeah. So Furia, Falcons, Alcadzia, Toyo.
It's pronounced the 4 dogs.
So only 4 of our top 8 currently
4 dogs, my bad. My bad.
are
They're
signed
stuck in
teams.
well, they're not stuck. They do have Rebo up to the north. So they do technically have a wrap on that side, but they're gonna have to deal with the
So
Falcons.
it's really wacky.
The thing is do you stay and try to get the kills in the city, or Cammy, or do you try to go for a push on a team like the Falcons, take their position, and try to win the game? That's a decision you have to make pretty much now, right? Like if you are a team like Toyo.
Ooh, Capitan stayed behind.
You get at least one.
Very sneaky maneuver by Capitan to find another kill for themselves. The timing does seem to be, though, to answer your question, they're going to stick around and they're going to take the fight because they would need to be crashing into Falcons now.
Yeah.
Rebo has pushed forward. You can see them just off in the distance. And so Toyo, they're kind of trying to play both ways.
I actually like this a lot, yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I was just saying, I mean, you were alluding to the point, the fact that they're looking for an option. They leave 3 there in the city, maybe going for points, while Rebo says, hey, it's actually possible to push this. So this is good. This is good from them.
Yeah. It's always where the knocks come, what opportunities arrive. And looking at the minimap, Kickstart and Shrimzy are kind of putting themselves into territory, though Micah with a nice shot takes Bonjagayo down. Shrimzy goes down. Undiscovered enemies suddenly punishing Falcons. Only 1 kill on the round for them so far.
And with a Panzer pushing up that hill, Capitan, he's gonna find it, but the trade is there. Emmy's able to get him, so now it's a 2-on-3 situation here in favor of Toyo.
The grenade goes out.
Blue zone.
Finish Capitan, who's been knocked. I think it's going to be the case. Another vehicle arrives on up.
That nade should be good on Kickstart.
Benya does finally go down, but a grenade by Emmy gets the trade in that end of the equation. And now Rivo sneaking up and over with the K2, the worst gun in the game, but you can still get kills if you can click heads with it. I hate this gun.
It's not the greatest. It's definitely not the greatest.
Goes flying.
Dude, was it yesterday on Erangel when we saw the UAS do like multiple flips? What team was it on? That was insane. I forgot what team was in it.
Alcadzia.
Hilarious though.
I think it was Yahoo.
I think you're right.
Oh wait, yeah.
Of
That
course
Corey.
it happened to them. Oh, those poor boys. 55 versus 3. 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 55 versus 3.
PUBG gonna PUBG.
Yep. Meanwhile, though, Mission Ready Internacional is kind of ripping up Toyo there. Okay. Now they even have a chance to get the last of the dogs. And Ice Tech as he makes his move up.
Hands are ready. Oh, Snakers goes down. Instantaneous on the flush. But the cover is not there. The blue. So close. And Ice Tech, surely this isn't a deny. But at this point, it absolutely is. Not wanting to give Mission Ready International any extra points as they are continuing their run into the top 8. 2 kills for them so far. But a nice shift to give them something to play with. Big question is, how much terrain is actually usable for them up in the north?
Yeah, we'll have to see. That's also a big, okay, bro, feels bad moment if you're Snakers. Just see him just kind of putting his hands off the keyboard slowly, like, all right. Sakura Zensen now pushing that same angle. So they're going up towards that north side, seeing if they can contest with Mission Ready. As the mortars are coming down, and those are dangerously close to max win.
Yeah, I don't think Maxwin has any real hard cover to stop it if it does nail them. Now Sakura Zensen rotating away, Mission Ready. Vox looking for a couple of extra shots. Good damage, but Sakura Zensen are going to be able to rotate away from this team up here, but they're going to just run into more. They're going to run into others. It's going to be LFP that finds Micah. It's all down to Adam. A rock and a dream.
Adam, a rock, and a dream. Oh, Kane.
Oh! What a jump! What a skip up and over, but it doesn't matter. Kane's still going to go down.
I wonder if they saw him as they were flying over that thing. That bump.
So yeah, good dip for them to take for an initial move, but it's not quite yet in the zone. Bolty in play for Max Win, looking to find a knock, but now we put our eyes on the Rocky
Pokemon to
have
get.
Team Liquid to push through. Liquid down to 3. Rocky Sports, they might be going a different direction. Not quite comfortable with a northern push.
I think there's a lot of room here for Liquid to work with, but there's also a decent amount of work for Rock to kind of pull up underneath them and work that ridgeline if they so please. Mission Ready now, you can see they're on edge here. Or they're in on edge here, but they're also looking for their next play. For now, yep, just kind of leave the vehicles in a safe spot. Do what damage you can, maybe create an opening for yourself and then move forward. Meanwhile, it's going to be Max Win, and they need to, yeah, oh goodness, is this going to be a clown car situation? Well, not quite. 3 of the 4. As let me tell you, the backseat in that vehicle is not comfortable. In fact, there's no vision. No. You can't lean out. It sucks. They're going to make it to this ridge. This is actually just hoping
and praying.
Yeah, you really are. Yeah. You're at the mercy of the driver and the co-pilot.
You have to hope.
We all know the backseat, the job of the backseat rider is the snack distributor, and that's really all they can do in the pony.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, but Technosh finds a nice little headshot onto Rock Esports. So with this initial move, as scary as it was, they seem to be finding some good footing. Will they be prepared for Adam Sakura Zensen? Will they be prepared to continue that push up north as is another hard shift? Liquid are loving this circle change in their favor. They just took this northern section, and now you can see they're immediately expanding back out because they should be expecting Rocky Sports to come in from their south, but it's also going to be about Mira. They've been hanging out in this compound, been in the zone for a while, but now they're likely going to have to move a little bit.
Yeah, they're very aware that Mira was in that compound, or Miria, or at least there was a team on that ridge above them, but also the team of both Miras, I should say, Miria and Mira. You know, Liquid is aware that they're going to have to move, especially the northern team first. So Mission Ready Impossible in the sight lines and very much being expected from Team Liquid. Mira, not so much. They do have that corner of their compound still in. They are going to have to move after that shift. Kurt's going to find some damage onto Voxcam.
Wait, I saw C4, I think. Technosh. Oh! Misses the opening. Too much smoke in the way, and it's just going to be Technosh going down from that. A follow-up grenade by Fakeson drops Frogman. And so a 3 versus 2 fight now. Oh, if only he knew what was in. It doesn't matter. A blind spray, a blind fire. And Mira, listen, they don't need a third party for the kills. The kills just come to them.
I mean, it's crazy. 11 kills again. Another strong game. Mira is on fire. absolutely blazing today, and LFP's just gonna get at him too. Why not? Give him another one.
This is the Furia of today.
6 kills. Half of the 12 kills that they have are all from LFP.
Like, was just looking at all this. Happy with the teams getting eliminated. Placement points lead to a chicken dinner. But they're seeing Mira get all of these kills. And probably feeling a little, you know, some certain type of way about it.
Yeah, because they know it's just points, right? Like, I mean, even if they win the game, it's great. 10 points, but I mean, Mira, they can see Mira's already past that just in kills alone, so it's got to be frustrating. And they've tried to pivot, they've tried to look for opportunities here to pick someone off to steal a kill, but it's just it has not presented.
They do not have the opportunity to go pew 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 pew.
Bunch of smokes.
They want it.
Get close enough to mission ready to drop some grenades. Gats does go down. See Liquid pushing on the north, trying to collapse onto mission ready.
Pew pew.
Michael's not gonna go down without a fight. Knock on LFP, taking the fight further. Vixen has to retreat back in the smoke. That gives Michael the opportunity to at least get that kill confirmed. The frag looks good onto Vixen, but it doesn't seem to be going far enough.
Oh, misses his shots, but Purdy gets it.
So he's going to find that one, steal that last point. Rock Esports as well. We're looking to get some damage onto Mira as they were pushing up. Knock does not come out, and BL just barely.
Those are shots you got to hit.
This Rock has been a full format, only 2 kills. They really haven't had many opportunities either. Them and Liquid. Really
Both Michael spraying earlier and those shots missing. Just
14 kills. Oh,
shots that you really want and slash need to connect.
I was gonna say off of the back of an 18 kill win. Like, sure, why not?
Right, and before, it was 18 kill win into a 10
Another
kill
10 kill win. Yeah, in the game before
already.
that. Jeez. This team's on fire, man.
They're on the trajectory to overtake Furia, which you'd think would be weird to say looking at Furia's day yesterday.
They didn't have the greatest day 1, right?
Yeah, I mean, Furia didn't dominate as much day 1, whereas Mira had a good day 1, and now they're dominating here.
Well, I say only, I mean, 40 points essentially is fine. Just fine. They absolutely popped off the second day. Either way, it does look like Mira are very much poised to pass them. In fact, I would even say they will. I'll even be so bold to say they will pass them today, as long as, I mean, they're just churning out games like this.
Yeah. No reason why they wouldn't. And it also means with Mira being such a point sponge, look, the fact that so many teams, who is that? Like Pest Control and Yahoo are still in the top 8.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think this could be the lowest cutoff that we've seen in PAS history for a 3-group stage.
We do still have 3 games after this, but yeah, I mean, it's looking that way. Again, if these top teams, especially Mira, keep sponging like this, I don't think we're going to be in the 70s, 80s. I mean, we'll be in this potentially the 60s.
Yeah. Okay, so Mira push forward now, but now it's a very dangerous position because Rocky Sports are arriving. So much utility on the field. These teams have to be running out of it at some point. It's not unlimited. Grenades go out of Fakes in. BZ's land on Fana. And Mira still just looking for a foothold to get into this fight. They've had such a good round so far, but their position in the zone is just not looking that confident. Kurt takes Fakes in out. Looking for the final shot onto Fana, the final remaining member of the Juggernaut that is Mira. But it's going to be Rocky Sports that are flooding around the side. No, it's not. Kurt finds it again. Kurt finds it again.
Rock, a team that kind of really needed it, too.
For a hold for the chicken dinner here on Tego.
Good on Kurt. This is the second kill he stole with a grenade. So they're currently at 3. Rock also at 3 points, but as he stated, is the man advantage for Rock. It's going to be a 4-on-3 situation. As far as terrain goes, it's about even. I mean, no one really has control of center. You can see Luke kind of being the closest one, but it's just kind of a battle between the forests from ridge to ridge, Cammy.
What? I feel like Liquid has just slightly more.
Counts for both teams at the top right now, but that it only means that the value of getting the chicken dinner is that much greater. Every last point counts. And every last angle counts for Rock, as despite having the man advantage, the positional advantage goes the way of Liquid. Standing around close to center, but a couple of initial shots onto Alo, forcing that player away. This could be the move for Rock to make their way in, but they're not going to overpush. They're going to take this slow.
See here, as you stated, they are going to indeed take this one slow. Liquid trying to maybe take some semblance of control over center circle, but again, it's hard. Both teams about equal distance from it.
No, I don't think they're equal, Poro.
It's the gear, I think, that arrived on a Rock Esports that is going to be probably the most impactful.
Yeah.
Look to be, I don't know how fresh it is, but if there's even 1 or 2 level 3s in the mix.
Well, I mean, Kurt is 3'd out of his mind, right? He's got a 3 helmet and vest, so. And I don't feel like they've really ran into too much opposition, right? I mean, they lost Sparking early, but they've been pretty much uncontested for a while, so I think they should be fairly healthy, actually.
I mean, a headshot from Alo does so much. Purdy gets the opening knock.
Spray by Kurt to drop Souls down, and this seems to be completely interrupting the timing that Rocky Sports were setting themselves up for. P90 on the side of BL, you always got to keep an eye onto that. Such a powerful weapon, you want to make sure that you can keep track of things. But the grenades go out, and the vehicle blocks it for RBN just enough, but that pony is no longer in play.
See, Alo is just trying to inch forward. He's having backup.
The fact that they don't get the kill off of it kind of sucks, though.
Still holding that off angle. Phase 9 slowly pushing these teams closer and closer. You can see how much utility is.
Tree blocked a little bit of it.
It's all missing. It's really just smokes cutting off some sightlines. But no one has fallen, Cammy. Oh, as I say that, of course, I had to open my big stupid mouth. BL's going to find Alo with that nade. It's 2-on-4 now.
Oh yeah, now here comes the P90
from the back, and Luke 12 goes down, yeah.
And once they get into the mix, Rocky Sports cannot get stalled out. 6-kill win, but again with Mira's performance, all our attention is still going to be on them, but we do want to give love to Rocky Sports, a team that hasn't been hitting the group stage with as much force as we expected, but every single chicken dinner like this matters, every single chicken dinner counts. And I think they are going to be in a pretty good position to make their way to the grand final and skip LCQ.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm okay with it, right? Like, as long as they're finding consistency, they don't need to necessarily have the crazy, back-to-back-to-back double-digit kill games like Mira has, but I'm also okay with them not being like group stage monsters, right? I'd rather them, fine, they have their hiccups now, then they go into grand finals after they've made their mistakes, kind of, get a little warm and then head into there with a much better mindset as far as just already knowing where they needed to kind of make those things up. That being said, again, that is now 3 games down. We only have 3 games left of this group stage here at PEA 6, so we're going to go to the highlights before we set up for the desk, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned, guys.
Losing Sparking and Luke. I mean, they got Luke back, but losing Sparking there probably really sucked for him.
Well, the big birds do take the big win, and the chicken, I think when we see that leaderboard for the match, it'll probably still go towards Mira as winning another one. Do you count it that way? I'm here with Cameron. I'm here with Godspeed. Godspeed, does this count as a 4th win for Mira, or without the chicken, we're not allowed to say that?
Nah, they got 3rd place, you know? They didn't get 2nd, so...
All right.
What?
Cameron, go ahead.
Whoa, come on. Listen, getting 3 chicken dinners in a row, that's like impressive in its own right, but you don't win. This is not most chickens era anymore. That is not the format. You win off of points, and they got the most points. So yes, Team Mira did win.
Yeah, but
I think they're
placement
washed.
also determines tiebreakers, so it is still sort of the chicken era. But they are not washed. I think that is our biggest takeaway, right? They had, hold on, no, that can't be right. 50. Okay, so they ended yesterday with 54 points. Today, with that kill count of 14, they had 28 going into this, so that's 42 kills on 3 games. That's insane. That's like wiping 20-25% of the lobby on every single match, Cameron.
Yeah, listen, Mira are just that good. And I think with some of the teams like maybe struggling in the way that we didn't expect, that's given them the opening and the ability just to go forward and take all these fights. And we all know how important confidence is. The second you can notice your opponent
Liquid getting
feeling
closer and
a little
closer.
insecure, a little unconfident, that just gives you even more space to go super aggressive. And with the speed that teams like Team Mira take these fights, you have to almost like take a full step away from the game to reset from that if you're in a bit of a struggle session.
Man, what a push. So, okay, Mira, they're doing awesome. That's cool. We're done with them now. Godspeed, let's talk about the teams on the cusp. Al-Qadsiya is managing to hold 4th with 79 points. When we thought this might be the end for them, are they at home going, wait, maybe this is it, boys?
I
don't think it's safe yet.
They're safe, but it's looking much better for them, especially from the start of the day, right, when we thought that the cutoff was going to be possibly above them. Toyo as well, climbing at 78 points. I think they're going to be just fine. I don't think they're going to let this one slip away.
Toyo, Falcons, I think, are good.
Right, so they're going to find the points they need.
So it's all going to come down to...
Probably safe. Pest Control, Yahoo, I would say, are it's looking not great.
They're not making it.
Say that. It's looking not great. You have teams like Liquid, Sakura Zense, Yin Yang behind them. So
I feel like Yin Yang is not doing it, though. Didn't Yin Yang have 54 points at the start of today? So they need more.
Oh, I want to say probably not going to make it, but it's still 3 games.
But here's the thing. I thought that Pest Control and Yahoo would be out by now.
Right.
The fact that the teams that are chasing up, like, for Yahoo, I think it should be easy for Liquid to overtake them, but for Sakura Zensen and Yin Yang to overtake Pest Control, that's a 10-point gap with Mira running away with things, with the lower half of the leaderboard being as chaotic as it is, and as we all know, going into the latter half of today, there's going to be a lot of kills that get picked up by teams that it doesn't have that much of an impact on because they're going for the Hail Mary plays, because they're going for the, no kill type plays. I think Pest Control,
at this point, 16th and down, are out, in my opinion.
We got here, you're right. Pest Control,
so
I thought for sure they were just fingerprints. And then I did think that, everyone would pass them early. That said, now, while I do think they're probably still dusted, I think those chases, the MRIA in particular, Godspeed, is a fascinating one. And Rock, because we know Rock can have these huge games. We got the MVP of EWC on that team. But both of them have to do it right now, right? We know Erangel has been a weird meat churner at the end of a tournament. This is that moment where I think if Rock or Maria, MRIA, do really well, they can actually be back in the hunt because of how slow it's been.
Yeah, with 3 games left, they really can't drop the ball, though. So you're absolutely right, Steve. They have to make sure they start now. They at least, if they're going to have a bad game in one of these next 3, they need to make sure they at least salvage enough points so that it's not this like mad dash for, hey, can we get 25 points in one game? It's like, yeah, you can, but is it going to happen? Probably not.
Probably not. And then there was Mira, though, Cameron, who says 25 points in a game? That's just regular business
easy
for us, right? Now, what is it, though? Since we're back to Mira, F it, because they're playing like gods. What is it about this emergence of Mira? What are they doing better than anyone else? Have you been able to notice it as we've watched? Because it seems like their consistency at this point is insane.
It's chemistry. It's just how they play as a team. The
I don't have any
rate
water
in which
left.
they're able to start and finish their fights.
I'm
There
going to
has
go
be
get some water.
magic there with the 4 players in that same jersey. And that's such an important thing in PUBG because there's so much. You can't like give calls like you're a quarterback playing NFL where it's like, okay, we're going to do this and this and this, and this is the straightforward play. It's stuff that happens instantaneously. You need to communicate so much information with so little time that there just needs to be an inherent understanding of how the team approaches. Like, you need to have one shared brain, and in the way that they approach fights, they seem to be doing that certainly at the micro level, the actual gunfighting level, better than everyone else. But then even their macro is still looking good. They're not, rotating leaps and bounds around everyone else, but the point is that they're putting themselves in a position to then capitalize on their big strengths, which is their team fighting, and that's when you see them go for third parties over and over and over again. And just the reps of them being able to do it so often in things like the Players' Cup as well as the first-person competitions this year, they're just so good at it and so confident with it, which gives them an extra step of quality to their fights.
I agree completely, though I think you may short sell the NFL quarterback's audible system, but I like your metaphor either way. It looks like a fight's about to break out. You know what? I'm turn it over to you guys. Take us all the way through Rondo, game 4.
Yeah, whatever, Steve. He just really doesn't want to be with us. I can respect that. I can understand. Hey, he's there. Hey, I thought you were out of here. Hey, later.
No, we don't want it if you want it. It's not the same.
I just sit there by myself watching the whole game, talking to chat. But I'm going to go do that because it's more fun than you guys.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Wow, he called us losers. Is there HR?
I know, that was
HR
unnecessary.
Surely listening. But to your point on Mira, I think a lot of it, just comes to confidence. It is the roster, I feel like, playing with each other for as long as they have, now finding that synergy, but just coming to these lobbies playing with confidence, and it builds every single event, whether it's the Masters, the Super Cups, whatever, right? The more they play, the more opportunities for PUBG, which there has been this year because of the TPP Online Masters events and cups and all that, and so on and so forth, that I think it's just giving them more practice time, right? And with scrims compounded with the PASs, it's a natural progression. And more importantly, again, a team, with players who generally used to be more passive, that's not the case anymore. These guys are opportunistic. They search for any chance that they can to find kills, and that's the thing that they're doing so well, better than most teams, is they're looking for those third parties, right, Cam? They're looking for those opportunities to steal kills. They're getting those kills. They're putting themselves in good positions, and more importantly, they're not afraid to get aggressive anymore. This is a team that is very confident in their team fight, as they should be, and that's why they're finding success. Now, K-Mind had all of that years ago, but now he's back, right? And now he's looking for an opportunity to get a knock onto Bonji de Gaia.
Ooh. Hide him running around. No weapon in hand. Seems to be caught. Oh, almost got caught out of swords, but then it's going to be K-Mine going down.
That Panzer at the last second.
Turning the tables on to Duel. I can't believe Pyden was able to get out of that. It looked to be what should have been instant death. They're not pushing on it, though. And now the arrival of the remaining members of Duel. I'm going to give them a chance to try and turn the tides themselves. K-Mine just needs to crawl back, though, in order to get revived.
I feel like they haven't thrown enough smokes to get him back, though.
Making his approach. Again, Bonji de Gaia does not seem like the team you want to mess with early, as that's going to be a knock onto IQ and a flush onto K-Mind. They just seem to be unassailable in the early game, Cam.
Yeah, and where even is this on the map?
This is Yulin, right?
It's in this. It's in the zone, but not by much. And well, neither is Lobes, as it's just Wooly left, driving away.
Duel.
Say, hey, we'll take these kills.
Falling
Both
apart.
teams saw each other drop. This wasn't a surprise approach by Duel. Maybe it might have been a surprise return, but we saw No Way also arrived and maybe looking to finish what Duel at least attempted to start onto Bonji de Gaia.
I said Bonji de Gaia was not a team to be trifled with in the early game. Now in the mid to late game, they do falter, but this is when they're strong, man. This is when they're strong. I do like this though from No Way. I like that Vinny's not committing too
No
hard to
way.
this. They are looking for an opportunity to maybe get a kill on a team that's not expecting. Well, it's not a third party anymore, but it is going to be a backstab. And this is happening at Yulin, just to the southwest side of the circle.
Fast approach by Vinny. Not quite sure if Bonje would be hearing these footsteps. Part of it is knowing to listen for them. You got to hear it through the comms and then some of the atmospheric sounds.
Birds chirping.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's going to still play this a little slow. Yeah, birds chirping. In my case,
chirp.
The traffic outside,
I was
just outside my door.
The ambulance or the police car just driving by with the sirens.
Once again, find him caught, no weapon in hand. This time around, the Vinny's going to make sure that he falls into the dirt. And then Sam Crow with another.
Iron sights as well.
And it really does seem that they caught Bonje completely off guard. They didn't expect another team to arrive. But Can 22 and Franks try and salvage this. They got 3 points already. But still not a great game.
It's 22, takes so much damage there. Sam Crow gets a reload before going forward.
On the other side, the way they isolated the players of Bonje is so well done.
How he was spraying.
It's really not going to be enough. That is it. Nicely done by No Way. Okay, boys.
Okay, you may be in 23rd place, but
Patience was good.
you're doing okay.
Pressure and isolation, that was well done. Well done by No Way.
We are the one.
No one's then approached them to try and backstab them, so they have some freedom to get some extra loot. Of course, get the revive on the Sam Crow, but then make sure that their equipment is all topped off. Utility, meds, and then, of course, weapon attachments, which is not something we talk about all too much. We just have the expectation that teams try and find what they can, but there is value to being able to get the perfect setup on your weapons. I mean, these players are going to be good no matter what attachments they have, but the
if they have the things they want,
percentage difference could make all the difference in a top tier competition like this.
It's just nice also when you find like a comp or something for your AR, you're just like, oh yes, sprays are going to be clean, don't have to think about it very much. Again, it's very marginal, right? It just feels good. Feels good to know that you're going into a fight like, oh my god, it's perfect, my setup is perfect, and then you peek and then you get headshot immediately by a bolt and you're like, that was useless. All of that prep time sorry, I'm just talking about my personal experiences.
And we've all been there. We've all been there.
So Wooly is sneaking back over, and I think he's going to be trying to grab his teammates' chips here.
Run back to Yulin, maybe trying to find an extra opportunity of surprise there. We'll see what comes out.
I don't think he's looking for kills.
Muju 2 around the coastline of a little bit of, do we call this a river? It kind of gets cut off, but it's a small stretch of water,
whatever
so I guess
you
it
want.
counts.
Is that a river? Oh.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
I don't even.
Sorry.
No, you have. With the dogs references today, I should be the one apologizing. Still, it's okay. Is Liquid with nice control on the northwest. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you please.
No, that was it. That's all. I just want to say I'm really glad.
Okay,
I'm just really glad Liquid has good control in the northwest. It's a test track circle, right? We're so used to these. Every team is in the circle. There's no movement here. This is very standard, and that's fine. It gives the teams.
Yeah, besides the fact that we had a team die in Yulin.
Kind of calculate what their decisions are going to be if circle posts in a bad position for them, and then it also gives us time to take a breather as well before the game gets hectic.
Yeah.
Yes, Matt, we see that. That's a very good idea.
Oh, it's funny.
Blunt and Icy went out. Not to Wuju2 because they don't have any kills. I wonder if that was to 4 dogs.
No.
But you can see that Matt has this set up. But no, this overview really shows what you were just talking about. This is the most straightforward circle that we can get in Rondo. Everyone's so used to it. But now 4 dogs arriving right onto Team Mira. LFP pushes out. Even avoids the drop shot turnaround by Bliss. And Lucid Freak also goes down to Haven. LFP holds the angle. They are just reading 4 dogs like a book.
Not my beloved dogs. No!
Well, now Mira's your favorite team to watch.
Damn, that was dude, LFP, what is that boy eating? I feel like every time we've seen a multi-kill or a team get wiped from Mira, now granted, he's not doing all the work, but every time he's getting like 3 to 4 pieces at a time. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really hard to identify a single player on the side of Mira that is like the star player. It's like one day it's Fana, one day it's Haven, and then today it's LFB.
Yeah, that's
it's just absolutely ridiculous how deep that squad is.
Yeah, it's a very good point. It's not usually like the LFP show where, yeah, that's actually very good, astute observation. I mean, and that's what makes that team so solid, right? Like they don't necessarily rely on just one player in order to be.
That's the same
successful.
thing.
I mean, they all have had to grind and come up from their respective teams to where they are now. And
how Technosh?
I mean, it's working. It is working both rotationally on the macro as well as the micro and the.
How did you get that to stay up there? That's gonna give you extra cover.
So a member of Maxwin on the tippy top of that mountain, and Mission Ready seem to be aware of it. But the hard shift to the southwest, it's still a test track circle. It's still part of the game plan, but it does mean that 55 and Falcons not quite as dominant in their initial early game positions. Wujuchu now swinging on in onto Rocky Sports, who got a quick little kill onto another member of Maximum just a few moments ago. Can they weather the storm of Wujuchu pushing on in? Souls peeks up and over, gets the nice spray down onto Lucid, and the frag grenade following it up, hoping to finish that one out and maybe even get a second knock.
I don't think it is.
See, yeah, Rocky's pushing the pace here now.
On its Technosh from the hillside.
The chest is going to have to back up here, and Lucid will go down, and Zito, though, I like this push. Knowing that
okay, so Seifu has taken
takes a chance and goes for that off angle. That
3 knocks from 3 different teams. Now Yin Yang gets a knock onto Sold, so that's a 4th team that's gotten a knock on this. MRIA got a knock onto this fight, and Ribo got a knock onto them. I don't even know, like, how to explain how this fight is going out for these guys. Because you've had 5 different teams get knocks and stuff.
Yeah, before you could pretty much just crouch or prone.
It's crazy.
Almost invisible, so definitely much needed nerf. It was a little too strong, but you can see. I mean, still good amount to work with. That crash glider though is a bit suspicious, I would say. If you are someone looking up, you're like,
I feel like it's not that surprising to. I feel like people would look up here anyways. So the fact that you have the glider there, it just gives you so much extra cover. I feel like it's a good thing rather than a bad thing.
At the same time, we saw a couple of, cracks in the position, even just what Technosh is currently giving us a bird's eye view of. That if they get pushed by too many teams, could spell trouble for them. It's not going to be an instant win position. Certainly not yet. Certainly not in phase 3. Here comes the arrival of No Way. Technosh not able to hit too many of those shots. Really just looking to play safe and try and give back up to Frogman, who is the other solo of Maxwin, just a touch to the north.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't be
replay of
a big fan of it. Oh, he gets this knock. Oh, it was a body shot, but it was a knock nonetheless. But yeah, normally I'd be like, I don't know about this, but as a duo, I mean, they're essentially just playing 2 solos, and when you lose players that early in this type of circle, I mean, that's what you have to do. So it was absolutely, it's probably like their best option. I would say Technosh needs to be careful he doesn't get knocked, because then that's just going to leave Frogman solo. But, I mean, he's on the edge of the circle anyway, so he might as well do what he can.
Yeah, right. After this one, it's going to pull away from him.
Here or there would be great.
I don't even think like a full-on
actually looking to steal
hard shift would be able to keep him in there, so...
Then a bolt, yeah.
Could you imagine Emmy just gets bolted off of that?
In a circle. That's going to be on the east side of the map. And now Mira find themselves on the edge, already with 4 kills against
down and
4
out.
dogs. 55 to the north of them. And this is, I think Rondo is probably the most challenging map for a team like Mira to play. Again, just because of how open things are. Playing from edge, third partying, it is even easier to then become the victim of an extra additional party yourselves. So we'll see if Mira can be successful from this position, especially. Is probably going to challenge them.
Yeah, that's going to be the real test. Again, the sandwich there in between.
There's a crossbow there. Frogman, do it for the content.
I mean, Falcons have a lot of room to work with in the north as well. They could flex realistically to the west or east if they really wanted to. So we'll see what they choose. As No Worry have, again, found themselves just underneath. You see Max Wins, Tech Nosh, and Frogman. Liquid very aware of their position. Actually, yeah, just pelting them right now.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
He'll spot Tech Nosh, though. So he's got to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, Liquid tried to, I think, make a play for Frogman's position. But I think with Tech Nosh, you know, solo player, bolt action, not the biggest threat, but it's enough of a threat that Liquid weren't the most comfortable. Their position here is fine, and we're only a couple of seconds away from phase 4. So this is where the play is going to need to be made.
Oh,
pretty hard shift up over towards the northeast, and yeah, this is not great. I think 55 and Falcons have access to the only other part of like actual playable terrain outside of Rock Esports. This is going to be a very, very chaotic mid-game.
That area is...
When does the chaos happen? I mean,
let's just say that.
Yeah.
I feel like
Right there. I mean, it's just flat,
Tiggleton,
line,
maybe.
line, so
I don't
we'll
know.
see.
I feel like Falcons need to get a second person over towards Kickstart.
As you can see, I like Sakura Zensen pulling up just to the south side of this on that ridge. On the road.
Oh. I don't know if that's how you do it, though. I guess
that was kind of graceful.
Block the headshots.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Sam,
All right, and now
there with a covering fire.
Okay.
Wait a second. Listen. It looked weird,
calculated.
But it was effective.
Yeah, exactly. It was a calculated approach, and now Wooly having to calculate their
it was effective.
That wasn't that great. Whatever, we move on. Betting up inside the blue.
I feel like it looked a lot better than it ended up being.
I mean, he's doing it, though. I don't think Max Win is...
Oh! Ooh! Ooh!
Any more the wiser is what I was going to say. Man, he just scooped those two up. What a stud.
Great job. Love to see it. No way, though. It's all, well, I was going to say it's all down to Vinny, but it ain't even down to them anymore. They get eliminated. They had no other option but just try and send it through a bunch of different teams. And this is showing us, again, how open this zone is. If you look at the map, there was no one in the center because there was nothing in the center. Everyone is playing on the edge. And so for the 3 or 4 teams that are still remaining outside of the zone,
1-0, no way.
They know that they're going to get peppered and third party during the whole approach.
Wooly's going to end up getting more first aids here, too. So not only did he get 2 points, he now has a body with a bunch of first aids that he can grab.
This approach from Liquid is tentative at best. Sparking is going to get picked up. And at least Luke and Kurt make it through, though. I mean, that's the best you can kind of hope for.
Only lose one. And they find another vehicle there to try and set things up, but Luke intelligently so pulls away so they're not into one position to get easily grenaded. Maiko with a great grenade on a Michael and Vox. Stopping Mission Ready's approach, instantly looking towards Liquid. And then, of course, Toyo swinging in from another angle, instantly shut down by Penta. Great spray. Sakura Zensen holding on to their position.
Not allowing anyone in here but Toyo. Just making their way forward. Capitan, who gets the shots? It's
right out of there.
Mika.
And they're making it work. They're making it work against Toyo, but again, they're going to have to worry about Liquid. Once this is done, they're going to have to worry about potentially Mira flexing out, although I doubt that. They've got their hands full with 55.
But not potentially
He's
dangerous.
going to go down to the blue. Adam's going to get knocked by Snakers. Was that a BRDM? Wait, what?
That's just...
No, that was just a coup. Snakers trying to make it look like a BRDM, though. Rolling over, misses just barely the second attempt at a run over in the smoke. Instead, just going to step on out and confirm the kill onto Adam. Micah's at 1 HP. Frag grenade goes in. Trying to flush anything out from this position, but Micah calls the bluff. Peeks on through it, takes Snakers down, and Mission Ready International get eliminated in 11th place.
Mission
Still 10
Ready
teams up for the shift
International.
once again, going towards the northeast, going towards 55. It is no holds barred for the teams on the southwest here.
Man, yeah, that was the problem with Soccer. They were looking at 2 different fights, and then the vehicle, the Chaos came in. They just got split. Ended up losing Penta and Adam for it. That's going to be a headshot, easy knock. High Man should be able to confirm that. So that's going to be Reba going down from Toyo. It's just up to Benya, but we've seen him do some pretty heroic stuff as a solo earlier in Miramar. We'll see if he can salvage this anymore for his team, as now the Gooners, T-Sock, making their appearance in a late game. Welcome, boys. Although how long that's going to last, I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know if this really counts as late game, though.
Bit of an underhanded grenade by Heyman. Benya's pushing forward, and just a blind Panzer. Called where Heyman was going to be playing from, and then instantly pulls the gun out to go for a secondary spray. Gets another knock onto Kurt. Grenade forcing them back down to 12 HP. But with Wooly still alive coming in from the blue, making it all the way to placement points as we're down to 7 teams all of a sudden. And now Mira making their way into... No, I'm sorry, 55. They pull away from their position, and they run into Mira.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. 55 had pretty good tabs on where Mira was.
Oh, LFP1 just not able to connect with those shots. That's rough.
It doesn't surprise me that, again, it's just down to LFP1. Either way, I mean, this is their worst game of the day, and it's... What, a top 8 with 5 kills? Like, or top 7?
Top 6 now.
When you put it that way. We'll peek up and over, but kickstart.
They're still alive right now.
Good spray with the 4x there.
So if Solds goes down,
Solds for Rock Esports.
all of a sudden, that's a top 5.
The real TIG start. What a tongue twister right there. With spectating TIG. It's going to be Shrimsy to find the last kill onto Rock. At range, and now it's just going to be Liquid with 2 left alive.
Yeah, so
doing well
they still got a 5th place.
Games, but their kill counts have been very much lacking, unfortunately. In almost every game, you know, they're making it here. They're getting to the end game, but
I think it's fine though. I mean, they're at 65 points.
3 kills max.
Just a little bit more, and they'll be through.
For them. You can see them on the leaderboard. They are just under 8th place.
No, you're not wrong. And again, it's just about getting 8. They don't need to win the game here. They don't need to win the group. So, you are absolutely right.
Falcons, what a 2-2 they have.
Now blowing up. So instead, it's just an incredibly expensive piece of cover.
That's not in the zone.
Alive. There's still a solo all the way from the beginning of the game. Duel have made it into the top 4. I don't think that's going to be a player anyone has tracked this late into the game.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure they're keeping track. Oh, I lied.
Well,
Shrimsy told
I don't know if it's necessarily keeping track or just
very much on it.
Shrimsy paying attention. Like, Falcons are a team that have gotten
duke it out. See if
caught out a lot because of how often they're in games and late games.
Give them some time to recover here. Kick's gonna step over and 5 Karak. And now you can see the other 3 members. Yep, they've started to move this way, which means that Liquid have been afforded some time.
Yeah, really good distraction. The timing just working out for Liquid. You can see in the distance they were dropping some emergency cover flares. Now, H-Twins perhaps just in a little bit of trouble because Falcons are set up very well to defend against 55 and to keep them out of the zone. But there's not a lot of pressure onto Liquid at the moment. It just depends on how healthy Falcons can come out of this fight. They're getting revived for 55. And then Tickleton spotted in the vehicle.
I feel, yeah, Kickstart's knocking everything was really just an opportunity for them to back off afterwards.
To look for which angle of approach they want to make. Do they still want to push through Falcons?
I mean, you want to go through
they could have pushed on
Liquid.
They know they're safe. They have 9, like, you know what I mean? But they chose to play it correct. They backed up. Practice how you play. Don't make stupid mistakes when you don't need to. They could have gotten wiped here. Their group stage would have been fine. Love this. But Halo, he's going to find the solo!
Halo's going to find all 4.
He gets all of 55. That was sick with the Panzer to the Switch AR. Oh my. I don't even care that he's about to get eliminated. That was huge.
Oh, and then Kickstart take that kill away from 55, and there was nothing more for Alo to do but to try and take that
Kickstart just holds
Not
it
able to
down.
succeed. Falcons come out with the 9-kill victory. I honestly don't even know what the story of this game was. How open that mid to late game was. Everyone was fighting.
Falcons just won.
Else, but still,
And that confirms Falcon through at this point. Easy peasy.
And even though we're so focused on today, Mira, Furia, and potentially Dangerous yesterday, Falcons are still one of, if not still, the best region in America. Sorry, best team in America.
They're the best region. Falcons are a region.
We cannot forget about them.
Yeah, Falcons definitely the best region in our team. That being said, that is Rondo done for us, which means that's the last Rondo of group stages. We are heading into a wrangle very shortly. We are going to go to the highlights, and then we'll return in just a moment. So stay tuned, guys.
Love it. Best region of our teams. Oh, gosh, that's funny. That's one, that's two. Oh, the mortar from Tiggleton. Early knock from Kickstart. He had to hit 3 shots there too because the 3 helmet.
Welcome back. The game is done. Rondo is test track. What else is new? And Alo with a Panzer is something spectacular to behold. My name is Tavis. I'm joined by Godspeed and Cammy D. We're going to show you the leaderboards, take a quick break, and when we get back, it's time for the final 2 games of the day. Falcons walks away with the 19 points in the Chicky Dinner on that match. Liquid, thank you, comes out and gets second place with 11 big points, which will help them feel for the first time above 8th place, Cameron.
Yeah. I mean, I expect them to make their way there. It was slow and steady. And, you know, Godspeed mentioned that they aren't getting a lot of kills towards the end game, but I think for a team that had the struggles that they've had this year...
I mean, they're all the way up into 7th place. There's 2 more matches for them to get above 79 points. And at that point, I don't really think it's going to be a problem for them. And no one else is making their way up there, so surprisingly, Pest Control may be making their way through.
Safe spot Toyo as well, and Alcatsia falls to 6, making them what we're going to call basically the cusp team as everyone surges to try to get past them. Top 8 will advance to the grand finals. Everyone below that,
like, I mean, Sakura Zenson should be able to make it up there at the very least.
With 12 games and anything able to happen. We're going to take a very short break, and when we get back, it is the last 2 games of the group stages. This is where rubber meets the road, so don't go anywhere.
Rubber meets the road. Interesting. Dun, 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 dun. My ass. I go to bed. Mira, Rock Falcons. Time to close my eyes. Close my eyes. Smile. It is today the 7th.
Welcome back with 2 games left to play. It is a race for the middle because the top of the pack is just so much better than everyone else right now. Let's call a spade a spade. It is a race for the middle, and it is becoming very contested down there, due in large part, Godspeed, to the fact that Mira and then before them, Furia had just both teams spent the last 2 days just mopping up points and making it very, very difficult in the mid-pack.
Yeah, between Mira, potentially dangerous, and Furia, I mean, it's just been crazy with the amount of points they've sponged. Double-digit kills back-to-back, wins back-to-back for teams like Mira. Furia was also there. I mean, it just makes this cutoff even more tight, and that's the thing. Like, it gives hope to a lot of the teams that are still chasing, but for those teams that are also on the cusp, it's that much more stressful because so many more teams are catching up or right behind you.
I saw it right here. I've been trying to pull it out for the last 10 minutes. Cameron.
I got plenty of them, dude.
It happens, man. You're just like, get out of
here.
So it's been pretty interesting games. I think towards the end of the last 2 or 3, we started to see a sense of desperation developing by our teams in that mid-pack. Some aggressive pushes, maybe some willingness to take or become a part of a 3, 4, 5-way fight. And now here we go to the island of Erangel.
3, 4, 12-way fight.
Last game has been absolutely messy in the circles that it has given us, and once again, here we are, touching Military Island.
Yeah, I never feel safe once we come onto this map until we see phase 1. But I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen more desperation plays. But when we've hitting the last 2 maps now, I mean, this has to be when it happens, right? At this point, you can usually expect to see not just teams like Duel hot dropping on a bunch of guys. Gooners, I mean, they play like this from round number 1, but I'm not seeing that much more of these sort of desperation.
I don't think you're going to see any desperation.
I don't know how many teams actually have a chance of qualifying, but like Wuju 2 and Max Win, they're not so far away from the current 8th place cutoff that it's impossible. They need to start it with a win. And, I don't think going for a hot drop right off the bat is the best start for that. But certainly once the circle reveals itself and we see what the early game looks like, then you expect to see, like, okay, let's actually take this one over. We got to go with a high kill count. Thankfully, though, despite the plane teasing something else, this circle is as straightforward as you can get.
Nice in the middle. I think a symptom of not crazy, though, Gatsby, is the fact that LCQ starts next weekend, right? Like, you're going to piss somebody off where you might have to fight them next week.
Yeah, like,
like, you could knock me out of the tournament next week, theoretically. So maybe I don't mess with you too much in an event where, at the end of the day, if I end up in, what's the last 24th place, it's not the end of the world, right?
I mean, even if, like, you go through LCQ and you try to do a mad dash and you're just kind of annoying a team like, let's say, like, Falcons or, like Mira, like, probably not best, right? Because you're going to see that team again in grand finals. Even if you don't make it there right now, you're still going to go to LCQ and see them again later. So, also for some of those teams, it's like, is there really a point? 16 points for Gooners, right? Like, there's no disrespect, but, like, they're just not going to qualify off 2 games. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. So,
yeah.
Is there a point to just go home? Now, granted, I still think they should play and practice, being spicy and hot drop, sure, because they're going to have to do it again in LCQ, but...
Spicy icy!
Needlessly pushing teams just because, I just don't see a point. I doubt they do that.
Sorry, lobbing bullets with a Dragunov at a parachuter hundreds of meters away just seems unfun. As a prospect.
It is until you hit a shot.
Right,
and then you're like,
oh! Did you guys see
You guys see that? I hit him.
All right, well,
I got him.
That about does it for me. Gentlemen, the game is looking like it's getting ready to get underway as we kick off our first section of rotations. So I'll turn it over to you, but remind everyone at home, 2 games left. Top 8 go to the grand finals. Everyone else has to slog through LCQ
Top
next
8.
weekend. Let's see how it plays out.
Ooh, well, currently Yin Yang are pushing on to T-Sock. Gooners are completely split up. Thrown down with a micro Uzi and still comes on top with the knock there. Yappa's trying to rotate around. Hiding in this corner. Catching T-Sock completely unawares. And the struggle is...
You should have saw the fact that there was 2 players there, right?
Out of the loop because was stuck in a fight with Snakers, and then Yin Yang arrive. And this is where the real chaos of the final rounds of a group stage reveals itself. It's not so much in hot drops, it's not so much in griefing, it's just teams get into fights that they have no reason to try and separate from, so they just continue through and almost like an ego thing. Because like, there's another fight happening here, Falcons versus Toyo.
It usually happens in like weird rotations, right? Which is what we're seeing pretty much here. As you can see, Capitan going down. Revo now in that warehouse, probably going to back off to the waves just to the north there. You see Benya kind of driving past that area as well, but they're probably just going to disengage altogether and leave this area. Yeah, there's no reason to be here. Unfortunate thing is they lost the chip.
Right. Well, Snakers goes down. So mission ready. Oh, and Michael's very low. Gats is also down. It's all going to be on the Vox as Michael is getting found out and gifted 1 frag grenade more into his pocket there. Can Vox salvage this? Like mission ready. If they had a good game here, they could be on the way to a top 8 finish.
Yeah.
Oh, Bunt with an Uzi.
Out, it's not going to be that great, but another Gooners member with a micro Uzi.
That's the thing. You said it. If they can finish strong here, they absolutely can make the top 8, but I'm not sure. Either way, Gooners now against... We saw what happened the last couple times, actually. Bonge de Gaio has run into the Gooners, and it did not end well
For the Goons.
So we'll see if that's going to be the case here. 22, though, has not moved.
Bunt's just gone.
I mean, neither has Bunt. Standing still, standing in that corner. I don't know how the Gooners ended up like this.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
didn't quite.
It's impressive, though. I'll say that.
I mean, they've lost 2 and have 1 kill, so I guess we might have different definitions of impressive.
I meant impressive to see how they were so split and Bunt in this position.
Oh, right.
not their actual state right now.
All right, my bad. I was confused, but I mean, as we see Bojigawa members stare down at some other enemies, more have arrived, so I think Bunt might be a bit more nervous just hiding in that one little corner. But a couple other teams are moving around. A lot of people in the center. Oh, Matt! That's the second point. Wait a second. Things are evening up for the Gooners.
Oh my goodness. There's no way behind him. Just runs right past.
That's the second time now. No one wants to
second player
this corner, this bedroom.
To do that.
Well, the thing is, you can see
stuff in here.
most of the loot by walking, because most of the loot is off to the left. You can see without even going in there if there's anything in there.
Yeah.
Just nothing that they want.
Is that bait? Okay, no, the footsteps should still be there. Bunt's not going to move.
No, Bunt's going to be good for his 1 at least. And you're right. He's not going to move until he gets it. This position currently kind of in the center of the circle, so there's a good chance that Bonge de Gaio is just going to kind of hover around.
Bunt is going to like change the way a fight ends up playing out at some point by being in there.
Even though it is just a solo. Well, technically it's a duo, 2 solos, but
I just gotta say,
is he
I
gonna
love the set cams here.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like old school Resident Evil games.
Dude, they just there's nothing. Bunt has to try to maybe move into a room with a window, but he's got to do it sneakily. Oh, there it is. No.
Oh God!
No way.
How?
Stop baiting us.
The tease is so real.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, looking on the map, just to update everyone as we watch this unfolds, pretty much every team has made it into the circle, into a position of safety. You can see Widger 2 on the southeast. Rock also setting up a camp. We may see something there with Solds, and not a camp. Rock's actually looking to rotate and loot and rotate, but they're about to get caught with Wuju 2. Maybe we can pan and see what that's looking like. If not, we'll just hang out here.
What's strange to everyone watching them on the map, Liquid dropped on Military Island. They were as worried about the first circle as we were, and the plane path did not favor their ability to go to North Georgia Pole either, or South Georgia Pole, whatever, Georgia Pole. They took a pretty early E pickup, but instead of going to the center of the zone, they actually went all the way to the north around Stallber and even separated themselves to continue to scavenge loot from there, which I thought was, could potentially be quite risky, but no one was around the area, and they seemed to be good from that. So a very interesting approach, had some element of danger to it, but Sparking's in the zone just south of Yasnaya, actually not too far away from where we're currently watching with Sakura Zensen, to shepherd the rest of Liquid in.
Not bad at all for Sparking and that, as you said, position to get them inside. Meanwhile...
What?
Wait. He didn't even... He
Yappa?
didn't even get the knock, nor did he get the kill. The
What?
bleed out. The
Oh
timer
my
just clocked
goodness,
in
that's
between
crazy,
bullets.
dude.
What?
That is
That's
so...
insanely unlucky for punt. Oh my goodness, are we sure they didn't get that? No, they didn't. They still only have 2, right?
That's crazy.
The chances of that happening are so... I don't think we've seen that before.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Unless he just
That was...
whiffed the spray. Oh, that's frustrating.
It's gotta be. I am kind of worried about... No way, though. This is actually a very wide split. I don't know if they can hold this. And you can see Sakura Zensen just above the southern split of that team. So
They're ready. Sakura Zensen's like, if we get the opportunity... We say that. Look at where Hyman is.
looking for an early rotation. They're starting to move. You can see a lot of these teams in their vehicles, ready to move before the circle even posts here in anticipation. That is going to be a shift that at the very least, Cam, cuts out that lake and Yas and all that water.
Yeah.
So it gives these teams a much better idea of where this is probably going to go, or at least where.
But it doesn't really change things too much. I mean, Max Win gonna consolidate.
Yeah,
A
but
couple
the
other
problem
teams gonna
School
consolidate.
Apartments is really prominent in the center now, and it's not the same thing as a test track finish, but it does have some flat areas surrounding it. And so if it continues on that way, it is going to be another game where it's the case of the haves and the have-nots. Potentially some crashes going into Apartments. We'll see what the teams do to get to that point, though, because there's still a lot to play around. The ridges to the south, the hillsides to the south that Bonjigayo and other teams are playing around could see quite a bit of action.
Not wrong.
Few shots.
You see Bonjigayo here again, setting up center around this res station as well. They're fairly heavily surrounded, so the chance of them really running into anyone, unless it's an errant rotation, probably not very high. So we can see Liquid up on the northeast. I like this again from them. They are safe. They should be safe for the most part, as far as the leaderboard is concerned. But again, taking a nice edge here up on the north, not pushing it. They have good control, good sight lines. They have good rotations forward if they want it.
Keep
So
it slow and easy.
especially given the circumstances and the kind of path you've been watching them go through this game, Cammy.
Yeah. Still 16 teams alive, and most players have found their positions. I think this might be what people are oftentimes referring to when we say that Erangel has been, quote-unquote, figured out. Is that there are the set areas, everyone knows what's playable, everyone knows what's not playable, where you can and cannot push. But with 16 teams still alive, despite a couple of kills going every which way, like we have 2 teams that are down to 1 player each. This still, I think, is going to set up for potentially
Yin Yang with their 5 kills have made it up into 8th place though, so
we still have a couple of teams
that's
that need
good
to
for
make their way
them.
into the
Pest
zone.
control
Obviously,
out,
with
Yin
Florida
Yang in.
Duel just to the south of Bonjigayo have arrived into
My headphones
northwest of
beeping at
Farm,
me, telling me they're
outside of,
dead.
Death Road. But it's just waiting for phase 3.
Yeah, Duel's been coming in from the south. As he stated, they are now on Death Road, and they have options here. I mean, even if there's hardships, they put themselves in a position where they can at least wrap far to the east if they wanted to, or even the west. They would have to deal with Bonjigayo more directly if that was the case, but again, they have options, so Duel coming in. Again, 4 alive on the south side. Most of these teams still 4 up, aside from Mission, Goon, and Toyo, who's only missing 1 player. Gang as well down to 3, but this is a very healthy lobby so far. And as you stated, I don't think it's going to stay very healthy for very long, especially when we go into phase 4.
Duel approaching Bunge Gaio further. But Bunge have the high ground.
Bunde.
Difficult place for them to try and take. If they can get the knock on Franks. That'll be the opener that they're looking for, but at the moment there's no need for them to go super high octane, super high velocity, because phase 4 is going to be mostly center, a little bit east of apartments, but there aren't that many places to play, and who's going to be the first team to go to that individual building east of apartments? You don't talk about the position a lot, but it can be a very straightforward way to kind of farm placements in a circle like this that it is almost guaranteed to stay pretty deep into the game.
Well, it looks like the 4 Daugs Jabane is going to find themselves not actually oh, what is... Dude, Bun and his little corners. What is this? But the Daugs looks like they might send it. Oh, no, they're just going to set up here. They're actually just going to set up here, and they are about to find someone who is already camped up in this area, but if he isn't found again, Cameron, I'm gonna lose it.
I know.
There's no way though. They have to check it, right? Surely.
Yeah, and the window as well. There are a couple of ways to spot inside. They're not checking yet. They're actually keeping their vehicles back to try and protect their tires. And now shots down from the south attack Bunge Gaio, who, you know, in their own right, you can see falling now. It's 22 centimeters. Got revived from the
I don't even...
Are they leaving? No, they're just adjusting their vehicle, surely, right?
I think they're just adjusting. They have a decent split here. As long as they can kind of hold off their west, which, I mean, they don't know how many teams are there. It's just Falcons right now, but they're in a good spot. So we'll see how that one plays out.
A bunt cam, apparently.
They knew this was a possibility.
This is just follow around bunt and see what happens.
They're going to be able to hold them off here.
Mirror just arrived. Liquid were here initially to begin with. But as we know, very difficult team to fight against, whether you're attacking or defending. Team Mirror are, so Liquid need to keep their wits about them.
Yeah, there's a lot of angles in this compound. Very difficult to push.
How is it gonna work?
The first. And Alo with a double. Dude, Alo, oh, he's so good. The close range god.
Gets dropped by Haven, but Spark
more nade.
Gave Alo the opening opportunity. Now
so much on the Haven.
Haven under low HP. Has to hop through the vehicle. And this initial strike, that
nade might be enough.
Liquid is
no, gets the flush.
Dividends. We even have Luke swinging in from the north to find.
Now Haven goes down. There we go. All right.
It's not needing
4 points for Liquid.
A little bit of extra shots coming in, not just from
They're
Vinny,
cool.
also from some other members down to the south. Toyo
They're kind of like really safe at this point.
It's not easy for Liquid, but they still should be able to get the revives here.
I shouldn't say really safe. Almost really safe.
Yeah, it's not working for them. They will be able to recover. More importantly, they can recover. They can split that shack and even try to maybe go for a school play here. But I imagine they're at least going to play that northern shack, maybe even split 2-2 with the other shack in the close vicinity, just above apartments. As we look at the rest of the teams, it is going to be the Daugs. They're actually just sending it straight to school, and it looks like Butt has finally struck. Or maybe not. What happened to Butt? Butt's still alive, by the way.
I think saw another kill the kill feed and tried to see if they could find it. Yeah,
He's left alone, dude.
It was not fun finding the kill again.
Journey,
with so many teams crashing in. Oh god, 55 now collapsing onto Toyo. Emmy needs to back away, but a bit caught out in the open potentially.
No, I think he's in the one.
But so many other people are rotating through.
Next door.
Across Wuju 2, and then once again, we have Bunt in the corner. But who is actually going to stay here and try and post on up? A Panther goes out, massive damage. Lucid tries to fight, but the rest of Wuju 2 are staying put.
I'm sorry, it's just crazy. This man has been around like he's around a war right now. Just chilling. It's the third team. 4 teams have run into this man, and he has been solo, and he still just has a micro Uzi with 16 bullets, and he wipes Wuju 2. No way, dude.
I don't think he's known about
Duel have arrived, but it's Falcons coming in from the south and Toyo looking for an angle in the north, so it's still not going to be great. Another kill goes the way of Bunt, and then swinging out with the Molly, because everyone knows that there is a rat in the midst, on top of the vehicle, spinning around in circles.
What is this? Bunt.
Or Gooners anymore as Bunt goes down, but what a ridiculous game for them.
He's
Oh, Kickstart goes down.
That was just insane. A lot of teams that drove by and then eventually, Falcons though. Hold on.
Oh, you gotta hit those shots, H-Win.
Or maybe never. Falcons now pushing forward. Duel really is just down to Lobes. This has been a rough game for them as well.
That should be a good nade. Yeah, that nade would have been good anyways.
Coming in. Kickstart goes down. That should be a res. Yeah, they're going to be able to get him. He's on that shelf. But Bonja Gaio actually above. You can see Tig saw that. So he's going to try to put as much damage and deterrence into them as possible to go for that res on kick. Time is ticking, though. And that should be enough. He's just gonna stick
gets there in time.
Yep. Nice smoke from Hwin as well.
Nailed it.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, understanding your timings is important in this game. Tickleton has it down to a T. Bonja are going to be stopped short. Liquid making a whole around-the-world rotation. I think they came in counterclockwise, and Sparking's going to go back up to this compound to hold position around school as we wait for phase number 5. The rest of Liquid are putting themselves in potential harm's way up against Bonja Gaio, but they could be looking for kills themselves. But Kurt goes down.
So now Falcons are in a great spot.
To the middle of nowhere. Rock Esports looking good on the map.
That's why I love this rotation from Liquid. They just go all the way around. They don't even bother with apartments. And you can see, though, a lot of teams already have opted to make apartments their home. Toyo being the one with probably the most beneficial of those apps. So they're going to be facing the south, which is where the majority of the center is. Again, this is very open. You stated it, Cammy. Very open circle indeed. But there's at least some different elevations.
Oh.
Darrow's actually knocking Sparking with an arm from distance. It wasn't even Pydom.
Headshot onto Sparking.
Sparking has been knocked himself again, but Liquid are ready to take the fight with Bonja Gaio. Grenade flies past. Sparking, I think, might be looking to get finished. A great spray by 22 centimeters. Puts Alo down, but Kurt's going to answer back. Stick at the res, trying to play for not just this fight, but also for the late game. Don't want to lose any players, not this early.
Oh, God.
Pydom up in the smoke, swinging around, finds Alo.
Luke there for the trade. Came from a distance, and they're going to clean that up. But, so much damage had been done at that point. By the time that the Falcons
one more bullet for Kickstart.
That's going to be it. Liquid will fall.
Now is Kickstart going to go?
I don't know.
I think Kickstart is going for the run over with the BRDM, but just can't pick up enough speed.
I know, uphill on this thing is miserable.
Especially trying to get it going. Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, there the spray is. Gets a kill, gets another re-knock, and 22 centimeters still up. So, I mean, this means that even Liquid, they don't get any kill points from this fight. Looks like Kickstart and Falcons are cleaning up the rest.
They're at 77 points. They're just on that cusp, too. I wouldn't necessarily say they're super safe, but look how tight 9th, 10th, 11th.
Yeah, how quick he threw that first nade out.
Sakura Zenson, Rock still in 59, 65 points respectively. Oh, and Kickstart.
I mean, just using that vehicle perfectly.
Sakura Zenson 65, Rock 59. Even Mission with
4 dogs.
member alive at 56, which is going to put a lot of pressure on.
They're coming up the hillside now, the same exact way Team Liquid did. Except they're pulling up on Falcons.
I mean, it's all down to QAD, I think, as the line to see how many teams can get over.
Sure.
Yahoo are out, Pest are out, Bestia are out. But, even at 8th place, Yin Yang, they're not looking comfortable because they could get overstepped by multiple teams if they have a bad final round. They still have a couple of players in this one, but phase 6 pulls away from apartments. There's a tiny sliver of Toyo's position still in the zone, but for everyone else, they're going to have to come into a position that, frankly, is all Team Falcons. We haven't talked about them specifically so much this game, but 13 kills for them so far. They came in like very aggressively from the west once the fight started happening at that plateau, and they were just taking over the kill points.
How did Psycho survive that one?
Survive coming out from apartments.
Yeah, this is really going to be a
Oh,
mess.
crack. I think
You
he's...
see Falcons already on their way to kind of look over this to see if they can third-party. Pippa is going to
Nate only gets one.
Benya as well. Benya's going to knock Pippa, though, in return. Karax going for the flushes. 55 looking good, though. 3 up still. 1 knock with the potential to get him up. That's going to be it. Clean as you like.
Nice.
But they will lose Pippa. That's a fine trade just to get rid of Toyo in that position, so they'll take it.
Yeah. Hopefully now they can then clean up the rest of No Way and Yin Yang and be the real gatekeepers, or the next gatekeeper from the exit of apartments.
If you're Yin Yang, you just want to survive
Some
here.
time to trade out loot.
Get whatever replacement points you can, but that's going to be difficult.
They're waiting for the next team to come into their crosshairs.
4 dogs sneaking up behind them could be really, really annoying for Falcons, but...
Really the biggest threat is if Rock goes for a wrap towards the southwest. They try to come up from above, but even then...
So I don't think Falcons think anyone's behind them at the current moment.
You do have the Daugs, though. Are 2 members of the Daugs.
Yeah. Whoop. Solts. Shutting Tickleton up, at least for a second. But yeah, 4 dogs pushing in from the west. I'm not sure if Falcons are even aware of it. Samcro goes down to Micah. After Micah got after Samcro got a knock on a Hyman.
Oh my god.
And then the inflatable boat to block the door.
It's actually, it's hurting them. They're trying to get rid of it so they can get the res onto Sam Crow. Oh, there it is.
And there they come. The 4 dogs have arrived.
The down
goes down, and it's a full flush. Playing around the BRDM. Isaac not getting trapped by the bait. But who knows when Kickstar's going to pop on out. Doesn't matter. Lucid has the angle. Catches Kickstart out. So they played around the BRDM almost perfect.
Doesn't matter. Falcons are up to 111.
I think it's a 2 versus 1. Is H-Win the last one standing for Falcons? They had such a good game, but it all falls apart.
Or 2v1, yeah. Sorry, 2v1 in 4 dogs' favor. Crazy start again. They were so quiet on the backside of this. They did not shoot. They snuck up. The backstab was almost perfect. Getting 2 members immediately. And there was only 3 of Falcons, so you can imagine now Lucid Freak stealing the BRDM and hurting Quinn into the sightlines of Ice Tech. Well done by the Daugs.
Yeah.
Look at this. With Yin Yang going out and Sakura Zenzen still in here. They have then overtaken them in 8th place. So this game and the last, it's still going to be a lot to play for qualifying to the grand finals here from group stage. RN0 with a great run just out in the open. Super aggressive. Catching Sakura completely off guard, and then Psycho with a separate angle. It's going to be Santastico that finishes that knock up. It's just Pentalol left, and we know how vulnerable these shacks are when players get close.
Oh no!
With the foot push, but even with blind, Pentalol is still able to get the knock and the full flush.
Well, that should be the end of Penta. He's just got to wait for that nade to explode. And wait, what? Penta's still alive. That is actually shocking. And Santastico!
What?
How is he alive? That's correct. I thought that nade was in. I swear it landed inside the shack with him. Even from wall to wall, I feel like that should have been a knock, but I guess not.
What?
Damage? So it must have been in the shack.
It knocked him down to 1, yeah.
Unless it bounced out of the door. I honestly don't know.
What?
Yeah, that's got to be a feels bad, though, for 55. Pushing up on the shack in a position to maybe push up towards Rock and start getting their game going, and it just Santastico and Penta just ruined that for them.
Doesn't even make sense.
You know, goes to what we were talking about earlier with 55. Solid team. They usually make good decisions, get into the late games, just cleaning up some of these fights and some of these situations that are awkward that they struggle with. But
wow,
you know, there's always been promise on that team.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a 2v1v1v2.
Yeah, it's not really good round. That's all things considered.
I mean, not only that, but top 4 with 10 kills. Great round.
Yeah. Also, I just realized it's a 2v1v2v1. This is almost anyone's game.
Yeah, everyone's edge to edge. I would say dogs with the advantage just because, or they don't have the BRDM anymore. Never mind. I thought they had the BRDM.
Birdham's out of here.
Ooh, Penta peeking out. Good tags, but Penta still has it. Fourth kill for Sakura.
Penta LOL.
Every single kill. Every single kill matters. They only have a 4-point lead at the moment.
Pentalol.
Who are sitting in 9th. So every single kill.
Yeah, this is a huge game.
Kill against qualifying or not.
Yeah, huge game from Penta for Sakura Zensen. I couldn't agree more.
Cad may be out, and Yin Yang may be in.
They get the dub, that's more points, that pushes them into the
Rock?
threshold with 1 game left
Yikes.
to play, so
Yeah.
still a lot
There's
here
so much
going
to
on,
play for. I am
especially
so tired, though. I
talk
don't
about
think I'm going to be able to
progress
make it through the
in
last
these
game.
final 2 games.
I think I need to go to bed
Don't count out my
here in just a
doubts.
second.
Don't you
So,
No.
unfortunately, I'm
No,
going
I-
to call it
I
after
wouldn't
this
even
one.
imagine.
It's actually
Because
my
I
favorite
just
team
need to go to bed.
period ever. That name is too good.
So I can make it to work and not
It's so
be dead
simple.
tired all day tomorrow.
Don't ever think it.
With a Z.
What is it? Keep it simple, stupid?
Yes? Yeah, keep it simple.
Keep it simple,
Exactly.
stupid.
So, going into the end game here. 2-2-1. Dogs are watching for Penta, but they're also watching for Rock Esports, who their best approach is probably going to be just collapsing from the south onto 4 Dogs. But that's a P90 on the side of Penta. If he can stay alive and get into the zone, I don't know how much cover is actually outside of the blue, but could try and spoil this. Smoke's already in play from a couple of different squads as Rock push in. I'm looking at the center, and there's nothing there. There is absolutely nothing
it's
there.
barren. Yeah. And Penta's probably going to go down next. You can see he's in the circle, but I mean, Rock and Dogs really don't have to move much. Well, Dogs will actually have to move soon, but Penta has found himself a corner. The problem is both duos are just focused.
They're aiming still completely to the left.
Cover there, right? I don't know if he has any more smokes. He could be out of smokes.
Yeah.
Oh, they do have the BRDM.
BRDM still in play.
Okay.
Now a more forward position. Bit of a distraction for Rock Esports. This could be the opening for Penta to push forward. You can see some shots
That
go
must
out.
be the knock
That's
onto
going down to
ice.
0.
Ooh.
Pentalo swings up from the opposite side. Looks to clean that one up. It is stolen away by Lucid Freak. That is one more kill towards
That's
Penta
big,
being able
though.
to get this chicken dinner, or at least get one more placement. We'll see where Solds ends up here.
Getting old shades of Penta here, and I'm all about it. I'm here for it. Oh, please! No! Yes!
Ah!
No bias here, baby. No bias.
None at all. None at all, but now forced out in the open by the blue. Even with the P90 in hand, it's still not going to be the easiest fight. Takes the engagement still out in the open. They're taking the 1v1.
He did find one.
But Isaac was there for the trade, and that's going to be a 5-kill victory for 4 Dogs.
For the dogs,
Okay.
baby. The dogs get
I
the
do
dub.
appreciate everyone who stopped by the
Still
stream.
beautiful moments, but yeah,
I
that
just
was a
need to go to bed.
absolutely
Have a wonderful night.
massive
I
game
will
for Penta
see
and
you
Sakura
guys
Zensen.
next time.
That's gonna be
Probably
a nice
tomorrow
cushion there going
for
into
more
the last game.
games.
They're already
Bye
in
bye.
top 8.